A very good morning to one and all present over here. Today we are organizing this webinar on acid attack in the face of gender-based violence on the occasion of International Women's Day. Though it's tomorrow, but one day prior to the same, we have been taking this very theme in order to address to the society that we must be taking care of all the victims, those who are facing such kind of menace, and we do have distinguished guest of honor, and the keynote speaker on the same issue, and we also do have a panel of various distinguished panelists or the persons who will definitely give their viewpoints on the same issue, that how we can manage this very problem in the society, how we can address this very problem towards the society, how we can sensitize the youngsters that this kind of issues, this kind of problems may not take place in future. So I would like to start by one quote which has been given by Lakshmi Agarwal, whoever is being working a lot for the rehabilitation of women who are being facing this very problem, whoever is also herself attack, this acid attack survivor. She said, he changed my face but not my heart. He threw acid on my face, not my dreams. So we have been seeing that this very violence, as the very theme of this very topic is violence against women. Right? That has been seen since long. Women and the girls, they have been facing a violence since long. And the society itself is making many kind of discriminations. There are many stereotypes against the women and the girls. And this very new phase of gender-based discrimination, gender-based violence is a new concept. Right. Now we also have various laws in order to control the same, but still this problem is still existing. And what the objective of this very thing is, why the people they are going to do all this? On this, one Jeff Shaw, who is the executive director of Acid Survivors Trust International, that is known as ASTI, has stated that acid violence is a premeditated act This is designated to this figure in order to maim or in order to blind, but not in order to kill. And if you see what the prominent reasons for the same are, they are the refusal of the marriage proposals. There may be any kind of abuse from husband or the family members, a refusal of the sexual or the romantic advances, or the family disputes or property disputes, etc. So on this very topic, we have panel of experts on this. I'll not take much time for this. And as a convention of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Law University, I would like to request our IT cell in order to play the cool beat of the university. Kindly play the cool beat. IT cell, please.
नहीं लग रहा है एक क्या प्रोग्राम हमको तो बताओ
Thank you, ISL, for playing the Kulgit. Now, taking forward the concept of today's program, I would like to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ambedkar, Ma'am, for the welcome address. Ma'am, please.
Namaskar. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, perfectly.
आज इंटरनेशनल वुमेन डे की पूर्व संध्या, एक दिन पहले हम ये कार्यक्रम नेशनल कमीशन फॉर वुमेन और डॉक्टर B.R. अम्बेडकर राष्ट्रीय विधि विश्वविद्यालय के संयुक्त तत्वावधान में कर रहे हैं। मैं इस कार्यक्रम के मुख्य वक्ता डॉक्टर राका, चीफ गेस्ट रेखा शर्मा जी, चेयरपर्सन नेशनल कमीशन फॉर वुमेन, गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर प्रीति भारद्वाज, मेंबर स्टेट वुमेन कमीशन हरियाणा, और इस सेमिनार में जुड़े अन्य प्रबुद्ध भगिनी व बंधुजन, सबका अपने दिल से हार्दिक स्वागत करती हूँ। आपकी उपस्थिति से इस कार्यक्रम को एक जो शोभा मिली है और हमारा जो आपने मान बढ़ाया है, मैं उसके लिए आपकी बहुत बहुत धन्यवादी हूँ। हमने बहुत सोच विचार कर आज का ये विषय चुना। इसके लिए जो मेरी टीम है, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, काफी बार बैठे और सोचते रहे कि कौन सा विषय ले, और अंत में ये जो विषय तय हुआ है। मेरी इस टर्म में ये यूनिवर्सिटी का आखिरी कार्यक्रम होगा, क्योंकि 10 को मैं अपना कार्यभार छोड़ रही हूँ। लेकिन मुझे खुशी है कि इस 3 साल के अल्पकाल में जीरो से लेकर हमने तो हासिल किए हैं अपनी टीम के साथ। मैं उस टीम का भी दिल से धन्यवाद करती हूँ। 10 मार्च 2019 को मैंने आफ्टरनून में इस जिम्मेवारी को संभाला था, और हमारे पास ना कोई जगह थी, ना कोई व्यक्ति था। तो यूँ कहें कि क्लर्क से लेकर रजिस्ट्रार का सबका हिस्से का काम मैंने अपने हाथ से किया, और आज हमारे पास लगभग 160 कर्मचारी हैं, शिक्षक व गैर शिक्षक। हमने एक छोटे से कॉलेज से अपना काम शुरू किया, CCW मूर्थल से। उसके बाद हम SBIT पलड़ी में 2 साल रहे। पूरे 2 साल के बाद हमने अपने इस मेन कैंपस में शिफ्ट किया, और यहाँ आने के बाद विभिन्न जो अन्य गतिविधियां हैं हमने यहाँ से की। यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड पर पैनल डिस्कशन, फिर लाइब्रेरी की इनॉग्रेशन, हमारे एकेडमिक ब्लॉक जिसका उद्घाटन हमारे चांसलर श्री बंडारू दत्तात्रेय जी ने किया है। इस टर्म में हमने 11 MOU किए हैं, जिसमें से एक इंटरनेशनल और 10 नेशनल है, और अभी 5 पाइपलाइन में है, जो आगे आने वाले समय में मेरे जो सक्सेसर रहेंगी वो करेंगी, इस काम को आगे लेके जाएंगी। हमारा तीसरा साल 3rd सेशन है। बच्चे भी 2 तारीख से हमारे कैंपस में आ गए हैं। खूब रौनक हो गई है कैंपस में, और 360 बच्चे हमारे पास हैं। इस कोरोना के बावजूद हमने 150 के लगभग गतिविधियां की हैं, जिनमें से 100 तो वेबिनार सेमिनार ही हैं। और मैं अपनी टीम, अपने पूरे विश्वविद्यालय के सभी कर्मचारियों का धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि उन्होंने इन्हें अल्पकाल में यूनिवर्सिटी को जो वर्ल्ड मैप पे लेके आए हैं। ये एक बहुत यूनियन से गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड में दर्ज किया जाना चाहिए। आप सब लोग आए हैं। समय की सीमा को ध्यान में रखते हुए मैं एक बार फिर से दिल से आप सबका स्वागत करती हूँ, धन्यवाद करती हूँ। रेखा जी, राधा जी, प्रीति जी, गीता ताई व सभी अन्य। नमस्कार।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the welcome address. We have also our Worthy Registrar sir. He has also been joined. Sir, welcome. So now, next, I would like to call upon Mike, the convener of the webinar, for the concept note of today's theme. Professor Neelu Subman, please, Mike is yours. Ma'am, you are not audible. Your voice is not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Now perfectly audible.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amit. Good morning, everyone. Today, on 7th March 2022, at Dr. B. Ambedkar National Law University, Sonepat, a national webinar on the theme SCD Attack, New Face of Gender-Based Violence is being organized in collaboration with National Commission for Women, New Delhi. India is a land of peace at large. Yet, some evils they coexist in our society. Active attack on women is most alarming and thundering challenge for all of us. Despite best efforts of media, society, and judiciary, this deep-rooted tumorous toxin is polluting all over. May I question one and all present here as to why this problem is still present in India? Number two, why there is no more acid attack situation coming? Number three, why culprits are able to evade and get away with meager punishment of 4.5 years of simple imprisonment, whereby the victim and her family suffers throughout. No justice or delayed justice gives strengthful advantage to culprits and wicked brains to re-practice such episodes. A galaxy of intellects from different walks of society have joined hands to excavate this grave problem in forthcoming brain and heart-storming sessions. I stand confirmed that these elite speakers shall cast head-to-tail scanning of the issue today. Our acknowledgements for dear speakers for coming together on this common firm platform. I thank one and all coming and joining us. Professor Vinay Kapoor Mehra, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, deserves great appreciation for another serious effort done by her in the interest of university and society. Before I hand over to Dr. Amit Guleria, co-convener and a very dedicated young teacher who along with his entire team has put in untiring efforts for this webinar. अंत में मैं आग्रह करती हूँ सभी बुद्धिजीवियों से
कि बाल हट, योग हट तथा स्त्री हट से भी आगे बढ़कर इस घृणित कुरीति के लिए हम सब एकजुट हो जाएं और ये होगा हम सबका समाज हट। तो शायद इस समाज हट से ही हम इस कुरीति को यहाँ से निकाल फेंकेंगे, यही मैं कामना करती हूँ और यही अपेक्षा भी करती हूँ। धन्यवाद, प्रणाम।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the key concept of the day. Now, I would like to introduce our chief guest, Ms. Rekha Sharma, ma'am. Ms. Rekha Sharma, ma'am, assumed the charge of a chairperson, National Commission for Women on August 7th, 2018. If one takes a closer look at her style of working, the two distinct virtues that define her are leadership spirit and a continuous efforts in doing for the women, which have always been played a very vital role for the upliftment and the women empowerment. If this commission, National Commission for Women, is known for working around the clock for addressing women's issues, it is because of Rekha ma'am. Her pioneering efforts to be ever ready and reachable for the women across the country. She has been associated with the commission as a member since August 2015 and held additional charge as a chairperson of the National Commission for Women, which is effective from September 29, 2017, and before becoming a chairperson on August 7, 2018. So, ma'am, welcome once again. Your efforts for the upliftment and for the women empowerment are always admirable. So, we welcome you on the floor. So, before your address, I would like to request our IT cell and the Public Relations Office to kindly display our newsletter so that ma'am may declare it released. So I would like to request Rekha ma'am as chief guest of the day to kindly declare it. Organies, please.
I declare the newsletter of B.R. Ambedkar National Law University, and I congratulate the university and BC for releasing this newsletter.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Now, we are waiting since long for your kind address. So I would like to invite you on the floor, please, ma'am. Mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amit.
Welcome.
Namaskar. Good morning to everyone. Professor Winnie Kapoor Mehraji, BC B.R. Ambedkar National Law University, Geeta Tai, Professor Rakha Arya, Srimati Naina Sahasrabuddhe, and other eminent speakers, faculty members, students, and other people who have joined today's webinar. I wish everyone, men and women, a very happy International Women's Day. Men also, because every man has women in their life and they should also celebrate Women's Day. Though it is a very serious topic, but it is also very important that we, while celebrating International Women's Day, also talk about these serious issues which women face in their life, especially in this part of Asia, because acid attack is not very prevalent in other parts of the world. Asia, like Pakistan, Bangladesh, some part of other Asian countries, but especially in India, it is still prevalent and very, very serious issue. Gender-based violence, this is gender-based violence, and one of the very gruesome gender-based violence, I can say, where the perpetrators don't just want to harm physically, but also want to crush the confidence of the person whom they are attacking with acid. And it doesn't only affect the physical thing or the body of the victim, but also leave her, I think, without confidence. All her life she struggles to stand on her feet. She doesn't want to go out. She doesn't want to show her face. So it's a long battle after the victim is been attacked by the acid. Mostly we have seen that acid attack is done by the person who somewhere is related to that girl or feels that he is related, because this is a crime where mostly people do when they can't say, can't take no from the woman. Whether she is denying any relationship, or she doesn't want to talk to that person, or she doesn't want to have any relationship with that person, that ego which the perpetrator has, and in our male population, I can say that who thinks that women are a second-rate citizen and they can do anything and everything with that woman if she says no. And that ego plays a big role in this, and I think men who attack by acid on women are somewhere mentally disoriented, because this is not a crime where which can heal a person. It shatter the victim all her life. So this is mostly a revenge crime, I can say. People who want to take revenge from someone, whether the revenge is only in the mind of the perpetrator, because sometimes there is nothing which can be seen as revenge, but he thinks that he wants to take revenge on a small issue also sometimes. The impact on the victim is great, and I can say that I have seen many victims of, or I can say the survivors also, because yes, women are out there who survived and got confidence back and started their life again, but with the long struggle, with the help of others. There are so many NGOs working around this acid attack victims, and there are people in the society who are working for the victims, but still we need to have more people who can come around and help these victims. And so NCW was instrumental in inclusion of, or we can say, we were the instrumental in inclusion of separate or specific provision for acid attack as an offence in IPC, because earlier it was not a separate or specific law on acid attack, and NCW proposed this law. NCW also has got MII system where the states has to give us all the details on the victims, how many victims have come up, have survived acid, and how they were compensated, whether the medical was given to them or not, and they have to time to time they have to update these information, and we take up these issues with the state or concerned bodies like hospitals and police. We have National Crime Bureau recorded in the last few years, like in 2018, 131 cases were recorded in India. In 1950 cases, and 2020, 105. And you can see that 2020 and beyond, though the cases have come down, but still time to time we receive calls and we receive complaints on these issues, and we send our team to meet the victim. Here I would like to say that the society's mindset plays a big role in rehabilitating the victims, because somewhere society doesn't accept the victim when firstly she is the victim, and she is not the one who is perpetrator, but our society sees it otherwise, and when she's being victimized and her face is deformed, society somehow doesn't like to see her. They don't, even the families don't handle her. And the rehabilitation of these victims is a big problem for the families and for, I think, society, and we all can play a big role in the rehabilitation of these victims. And while giving medical is state's responsibility, and free medical aid is given in all the states. Also, the compensation government gives, and the compensation is different in all the states. But rehabilitation again, and financially rehabilitating them so that they can start their life and be economically independent is our responsibility, society's responsibility. There are many NGOs who are working. There is a capital also where women are coming up, and they give employment to only acid attack survivors. But still, we need to handle these victims and make them self-reliant, and we have to work on these issues. Counseling is also an issue because these survivors need constant and long spell of counseling. Because somewhere in their mind they think that they will not be able to live, and we have seen in many cases they try to commit suicide also because they can't face the society. They think that is their problem. But let me tell, if any survivor has joined today, it's not your doing. You are not the one who have committed the crime. So don't feel ashamed. Come out, be strong. NCW and bodies like us and the government is with you, and we need to again. I will stress upon these things that especially the universities, the colleges, the students around them, the friends, they play a big role in counseling, in giving them support and holding them, because once the crime is committed, our this is us that we can rebuild their life. They handle them. With that, I once again thank Professor Winnie Kapoor for organizing this webinar, and I think Professor Raka will throw more light on the issues which I have just raised, because she is the key speaker, and I would like to give her more time. Thank you so much for inviting me in this very important webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have enlightened on the topic like as you have rightly said, that it happens only due to the revenge. And particularly, if we see the research, most of the times it is going to happen only for the revenge only. And most of the perpetrators, they are being, youngsters only. We see the research. And due to love accords and all that, we have been seeing that most of the times it is happening for these reasons. So we have to get aware. We have to sensitize the youngsters that how it can be reckoned, how it can be reduced. So next, I am regretted to announce that our guest of honor, Shrimati Geeta Gunde ma'am, she is not joining us because of some reasons. She just declared, she just contacted me, she is not able to join. So now next, I would like to invite our today's keynote speaker. But before that, I would like to introduce the keynote speaker, Professor Raka Arya ma'am. She has been the professor for 16 years at NLIU Bhopal and Basant College for Women for 3 years. She is having a very specialized researches in the field of political science, law, administrative law, constitutional law, air and space law. She is the member of various academic and administrative bodies. She is also the member of the IQAC of NLIU Bhopal from 2018 and till date. Even she is also the member of NAG and NLIU Bhopal from 2018 to till date. She is the faculty in charge for the cell of research in international law at NLIU. Ma'am has been worked a lot for gender justice, and she is also the chairperson of the Executive Council for Sarojini Naidu Government College, Postgraduate College rather, Bhopal. She is the member of GNU Code, Transparency International Law, New Delhi, High Power Committee of Chief Minister on Legal Empowerment for Women, Madhya Pradesh. She is the member of the Board of Studies. She has been worked in many other administrative bodies, and she has been got many awards. She has been published multifarious publication, journals, as well as books, articles, editorials on the rule of law, electronic reforms, media mapping, political concepts, as well as especially on the women empowerment, gender issues, women and human rights, human trafficking, and many more. So there is a long list of her achievements and whatever she has been done. So taking not much time, I would like to invite Professor Raka Arya ma'am for her keynote address. Ma'am, mic is yours, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Valeria. I would like to first thank Professor Vinay Kapoor for inviting me and giving this opportunity to speak on this issue. I would also like to, of course, extend my greetings to Ms. Rekha Sharma, who is Chairperson of National Commission for Women. Geeta Tai, though she could not make it, but still, and other dignitaries and students. We do know, and I would like to thank Professor Vinay Kapoor and her team, even Dr. Neetu Sood. I would like to thank all of you for choosing such a theme which is very less talked about. But I think that does almost maximum damage to a person as far as a persona of a woman is concerned. So it's a very excellent effort which is being brought as a part of course, celebration and observation of International Women's Day. I would like to greet everyone and congratulate and very happy International Women's Day to everyone. I hope we will discontinue with this practice one day. That separately we will be celebrating something for women, because it reflects that it means that society has not accepted the fact that the women are very much part of the society. the very fundamental problem that we face is that we think society is made of man, women like that, that man is understood in different manner and woman is understood in separate manner. As long as we continue with this practice, I think we will not be in a position to resolve the issues that we are once again discussing here. Because when we say that man and woman, they both are complementary part. Without them, society is not there. Here I can take one particular effort made by Eleanor Roosevelt and Sonepat and all that when we were working on UDHR and all that. They say that don't use word man, it is human. Use the word human, and human encompasses everything. So there is no need for us to make a mention that he or she, whenever we are saying something, because I think we indirectly or unwittingly also accepting this particular discrimination. Difference is one thing and discrimination is another, as we do understand, because we all are speaking in the forum of law. So we do understand the significance and consequences and impact of that. The thing that we are doing is, again, as it's been said, that it's a new phase of violence. Again, I'll say that violence means it should not have any place in a civilized society. There should be a zero tolerance policy as far as such kind of violence is concerned. Because when we say violence, it means that we are still, again, to reach to that particular level when we will be called as civilized human society. So we are learning about it when we try to, again, another thing that I would like to say for the fundamental thing, that of course the previous speakers, they have drawn the attention to the fact that women who are there, who are suffering because of acid attacks, they are being either, they have rejected the man for the purpose of either the love advances, sexual advances, or some matrimonial problems. So it means that we have a society which is called as a patriarchal society, men-centric society. Even if we are slowly and gradually trying to abolish this particular thing, where patriarchy will be the one governing force or the ruling idea of a society, still we are not able to do it at the pace we were supposed to. As we understand, there are international efforts, there are national efforts, both efforts are there. Number of conventions did come up, like CEDAW is there, then the Convention on Violence Against Women, elimination for that has also come up. Then they have also established the status Commission for a Status of Women in the World, Beijing Conference. There are a number of things are happening constantly. But after these efforts, 1979, as you will be aware, CEDAW, 1995, you are aware, Beijing Conference, which is a very big turning point as far as women rights are concerned, status of women in society is concerned. But then in India, we have registered first acid throwing case in 2003. So what does it mean? It means that all efforts that we were trying to make 1973, 1979, and then of course this 1995 are not successful. It means there is something, some vital point that we are missing, that we have to look into. We do say that society play a very vital role, but then society has been addressed that you have a role to play. Generally, we adopt an approach which is based on formal institution setup mechanism. We do say that a state will take care of it because the state has a responsibility to protect every citizen of its, and against what? Any kind of violence. So it has been a responsibility of the state, and how does the state fulfill its responsibility? By making laws. So when we say that merely making laws, will it be suffice to resolve the problem? Because we do know that whenever something goes wrong, we always say that there should be a law, and when there is already a law, we say there should be some stringent law. So do we really understand that what we are saying? That if we are saying stringent law, there are sufficient stringent laws also, but despite that, offense has not stopped. Has anyone stopped and think about it, that why it is not happening? And we can say that through management, we can bring the numbers down, but then we cannot assure the society that this number will not increase. The thing is, it means that constant vigilance has to be kept with the help of formal institution. That is state, police machinery and judiciary. all these are the one who are playing a very important role as far as maintaining a violence-free society. But has they been successful? This is one question that one has to ask. Because we do know that when I'm making a reference of 2003 case, where Sonali Mukherjee's case that has happened in Jharkhand, when there was a sexual harassment issue that arose and when she resisted it. Because many a time we have seen that this has been said constantly, that when a woman resists or when a woman says no, then the violence happens. It means what? You have to think about it. That we are saying that are we, saying that women are not given the kind of space they should have been given by now. So why is that not so? Again, we have to look at that merely saying that is not going to achieve the purpose. Statistics may, of course, play a significant role, understanding that how far the efforts made by the state has been successful. Whether they are working successfully or not, there has to be a coordination. There has to be a cooperation from all the bodies which are working for the purpose to get rid of it. But what about the woman who is in the middle of it? Because we do say that justice is not only done, it should be seen to be done. Something that we are saying, again, I said two things, difference and discrimination. A woman who goes through it, we do know, we can't even, imagine that what she might be going through. Number of things, because whenever some offense against a woman happens, there is not the only that particular offense that happens. In addition to that, number of things also happen that may also, be considered as offense further, which will be deepening the pain and sorrow of a woman. Because if we look at the cases, like Lakshmi's case is the most famous one, like 2006 when this woman faces the problem and she was a minor. And we do know again the same problem is that because she refused some man. And then, of course, the kind of thing she experienced was a kind of jolt for the society. That can we go to this limit also? In this particular 21st century, can we imagine that this will be happening now? Completely unbecoming of it. So again, the case has proven to be a kind of landmark situation for all of us, laid down a lot of guidelines and, for the course of action to be taken by the government and not only the government, but other medical practitioners also, private or public both. They were held accountable for providing an instant relief to the victim because we have a particular mindset of these people also. There has been a reference made in the, by the previous speakers about the mindset. So this mindset not only, we cannot say that mindset is existing in isolation. Mindset means that being a part of a society we all carried with us. Even if we are teacher in a law school, even if we are doctor in a medical hospital, even if we are a leader in a political domain, if we are carrying any other position, we are carrying that mindset and thought process. When I say mindset, what does it mean? It means the thought process. And thought process is that when, such cases do come and they happen to be reaching to the medical, boundaries, again, there is a problem that women face. The thing is, they say that first of all formalities become more important than saving life. She has suffered all that. And because of that, how much damage further aggravates, you can understand that. And this is something, when the situation occurred, law of lacunae once again came forward that what all law is lacking. New cases are coming, like it is acid attack, then stalking, then voyeurism. Now cybercrime, cyber stalking, and all this happening. Women are not, treated as a person, as a fellow being. They are being treated as a woman. And more than a woman, as an object. Which is very wrong as far as society is concerned. So that's why we say that when the woman faced that particular serious problem, as already Dr. Guleria made a mention, that naming and, mutilating and, doing all kind of cruel activities. When you read their experiences, what has happened after throwing acids on them, in number of cases, like two major leading cases are there. Parvartan Kendra versus Union of India was the second case after Lakshmi versus Union of India case in 2006. Parivartan Kendra versus Union of India came in 2013. So 7 years after, you can see. So it means the trend did not stop. They were not apologetic. They were not thinking that something very gruesome and wrong they have done. In fact, they have opened a particular kind of behavior pattern to again to be adopted by others to repeat that particular kind of feat that was done by a man in 2006. And why it has happened? Because we have not addressed the issue in proper manner. So we are saying that establishing, once again, I'll say that we are saying yes, of course, there is a agony, misery, a woman faces social exclusion, because this is an age and era in which we are living. The external appearance play a very important role. More than a persona and the person's inner side, the outer side, exterior play more important role. How a person looks is, it matters more than how the person thinks and what kind of person a person is. That's why we are saying that, when we say something about them, that the victims will be, first of all, I don't want to use the word victim, but then of course we have to find some terminology. So we are saying victims when they are, provide a kind of opening in a society where they are working in some restaurant, cafeteria, or in some other places. We do know, that women are recruited for the purposes of kind of jobs where looks do matter. Receptionist, generally people prefer women to be there. Why? Because they are good looking. And they can manage people half because of their good looks and all that. So in such cases, you just tell me, where does it leave a woman of such kind who has suffered like this? So first of all, we have to change the mindset even in that direction. That what is more important, the outer look or the persona of a person? Then I think a lot of things will fall in place. If we attach too less importance to the looks, and if we attach more importance to the intellect of a person, knowledge of a person, personality of a person, then we will be doing better. Because rehabilitation that has been spoken about here, when it done externally, it's not a huge success. Or I will say it's not a success at all. It won't be otherwise. Because artificially, nobody wants to do something for other. They don't have time. They don't have thought process. They don't have any empathy for them. A society which is devoid and deprived of such kind of thing, we cannot make such kind of efforts of rehabilitation or success. And, giving them work in one place is also not something. And labeling them as, the acid attack victim or, the survivor. This is, again, I think is not the right way to define a person. She is a person in her own right when we talk about it. Lakshmi is Lakshmi. She is not a, acid attack survivor. For me, Lakshmi is Lakshmi. And I say she is a very brave woman who withstood all the pressures, every tension, every isolation, exclusion that has been meted out after the attack. This is her confidence and of course given by the family members. Family has played a very vital role and support has been provided to the woman to make a woman a confident woman. Because if they do not undermine the woman, because we do know, because I have been into the field also, I could see that whenever there is a woman who have been subjected to the offense, the woman has been, held accountable for the offense that has happened. Now we are saying that the primary responsibility of the state is to make the environment free for women so they can, walk into the society without any fear. They can walk at any time of the night also. This will be the environment that we should see. And they should not be under the impression that they are having any threat coming from any direction in any shape and form. So this is the one that we are just looking for a society to be. As I say, zero tolerance policy, that if somebody does some nonsense, the person must be declared outcast. A court cannot, solve the dispute and cannot solve the issues. Why? Because what has happened that there are lot many. I would like to take this particular forum to make this fact very clear to all of you. There are many who are sympathizing with the criminals. Whenever you talk about this system, when crimes against women are happening, there will be some great supporters coming to the criminals' psychology and family background and all that, that why he has done so. They will be giving a justification of the behavior, which is not correct. Why he has thrown? Because he was a scorned lover, because he was scorned. Is this the justification? Why the society has not declared the person outcast? Why society is accepting the person, even having the criminal antecedent of such kind that he has almost killed a woman? So this is the one major issue that we have to address, because it has number 4 dimension, major 4 dimension this particular issue has. Society is a state. A state has done its duty by making some reforms in the Criminal Law Amendment Act in 2013, as we know. They have added 2 sections in that, 326A and 326B, in which they have said that what will be the offense of acid throwing, what does it call, and what, how they have explained that I'm going to share, because you all are law students, so I'm going to share the language of the section with you. The punishment is for 10 years, and then of course, even it can be converted into the life imprisonment. And now you know that in Criminal Law Amendment Act, it has been also redefined. Life imprisonment means till the person is having organic life. So we do know that this is an important thing, but again there is a but. Why? Because conviction rate is very low, and as it has been mentioned that some has been only punished for 4 to 5 years. So what kind of justice the woman got at the hand of the state? So I say, as far as the woman is concerned, number of people are responsible for that crime. Not only that man who actually has executed that offense, but I will say number of factors that if people are not being punished severely, then of course they get emboldened, others get emboldened, and they also do the same thing. So this is something here I would say. So merely making a law is not suffice. Then again they made another change in section 357A, B, C, as you know, of the CRPC, that is Criminal Procedure Code, in which they have introduced the victim compensation scheme, which is meant for the victims of, again I'll say victims of the acid attack, and which is ranging from minimum 3 lakh to maximum 8 lakh. And they have set up, because this has been the result of the judgment of the court in Lakshmi versus Union of India, where they have laid down number of things that what needs to be done by the state. Selling of the acid has also been prohibited, just like that. And then it has been said that it will be under strict monitoring of the state. And then who all will be responsible for this sale to be regulated, that we will see. And has it been a success? If cases are there, so can we say that the state has been successful in stopping that, or monitoring them, or keeping a track on of that? Because this is something again falling in the domain of Ministry of Home Affairs. They have released an advisory, a very well stated and articulated advisory they have released. I would like you all to go and read that advisory. It will help you a lot, because the responsibility has been given to the legal aid authority as far as the compensation distribution is concerned. Because what was the problem this woman faced? One acid attack is, this is not something that somebody has attacked with some knife or something else. See, the bones will be melted, the skin will be gone, the woman will become blind, and of course, reconstructive surgeries are very expensive, and not all the hospitals are competent on doing that. Now, they are reconstructing a person is not easy. The kind of pain that woman will be going through again and again and again, you can understand that also. So they are saying that initially, of course, the reconstructing surgeries are very expensive. So how a woman will meet that particular price, that cost of surgery? So that's why court said that first of all, minimum 3 lakh will be immediately released by the government within the 15 days of that attack. But then again, as I said, that 15 days is too much, too long a period of time. But again, so how it will help? Because if government takes 15 days time, then what about the victim? For that, court has said that as far as hospitals are concerned, they will immediately admit the woman. And, the kind of wards they have, the casualty and other serious, issue or the cases which are coming to them, they will be addressing that particular case at the higher priority. And then, of course, they will not refuse the case. If they refuse, it is a punishable offense. So when we say and punishable offense under section 166B, the thing is that it's being said that according to the case, it's saying, judgment is saying that the treatment will immediately start. And again, as I said, that any delay or any refusal will, be punishable. Even for the officers, public servant who refuse to register any case of such kind, if family goes there against the person who has committed the offense, then again they will be also punishable. As far as 166B is concerned, it says, again, Indian Penal Code or Criminal Law Amendment Act, we can say, because it has been brought by the amendment into the act, because number of cases were coming where people will be refusing the women, because if you can see in the Rea's case, what has happened? There was, initial delay. Safdarjung Hospital made a lot of issues when she was to be admitted. So this is something that they say when a woman is facing life-threatening situation, she must be admitted by any hospital where she is approaching, or she has been taken first. Now the punishment is, as far as the hospitals and doctors are concerned, that it may range to 1 year and fine. As far as an officer is concerned, if it not registers a case, then it will be starting from 6 months, go to maximum 2 years also. And of course, we can understand those who are in services, what does it mean for them? So this is a punishable offense now, that they are saying that all these things must be taken care of by the law. So a state has made the law when we talk about it. They are not lacking in their situation, though we know, as Madam Sharma has made the reference about it when she said that yes, South Asian countries are actually facing this problem more, especially India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. There, of course, we can say that they have a same culture. So that's why there is a particular problem and, like-minded approach that they have. So this is something that they say when they talk about this as well. So we have fixed the role of all the public servants. Government has done its job as far as the thing is concerned. Now, when case comes to the court, now court means what? When we say about the court, that court too has to expedite. That court cannot actually, go as far as the thing is concerned. When we talk in terms, can delay things. It too has to, because as I say, the painful condition of a woman has to be, also met with the idea that she will get justice. So when this thing is taken by the court, there must be fast tracking. And fast tracking in the sense that all the instructions must be issued to the police and other concerned authorities to take an action against the person who is the culprit. So this is something that they say that fast tracking is an important thing as far as giving justice to a woman in such kind of cases are concerned. Again, as we look at the situation when I'm talking about it, that not only this, they say that as far as the medical aid and all these are concerned, another ministry which is involved is Family and Health Affairs. So this is also the one that will be dealing along with the MHA. They both will be working together. And rehabilitation, as we are talking about, because a woman may be young in age, so education is an important thing. If she is a major and was working somewhere, then of course she too should be provided a kind of livelihood and all that again. The rehabilitation means that they, in initial phase, they should also be helped with the, this food and other kind of support. But then again, as I say, that this is when I say compensation money has to be provided by the government of 3 lakh rupees. But then there is one more thing, that fine is in addition to that 3 lakh. That 3 lakh is not inclusive of this, but exclusive of the money that will be received from the culprit. So we are saying that the man will be made to pay the price for his crime that he has done. But what about the mindset of the person who has committed the offense? A person of such kind, is a very sick person. If you read, that what they did afterward, after throwing the acid, you will be stunned and you will be shocked to know about that. They saw the victim writhing in pain, and they drew the vicarious pleasure, sadistic pleasure, out of the fact that she is screaming, she is writhing, and she is under tremendous pain. And this is the one aspect that we have to handle. As I said, the sick psyche of a person. So when we say counseling, counseling of whom? Counseling of this man also. As I say, that the man who has committed the crime should also be subjected to. Not only a state should be the one who should punish, but the society should also punish. And other measure that should be taken, that man is not to fit in to live in society, must be thrown, or rather should be taken for a particular kind of mental treatment. Because the person who wants to see a woman writhing in pain, we do not know what kind of person is he. Can be only a demon who would like to see them crying in pain. So what kind of society have we created where women are suffering and men are having pleasure? So this is also when I say that merely if we talk, in terms of that they should do it, but we should diagnose what is the disease about, who is the one who is sick. Unless and until we address these issues, I think we will not be doing that. Again, as I said, selling of acid has been prohibited or regulated by the court. Then again, we know that this particular thing has not been very much regulated in the manner, because they say that wherever there is a possibility of selling acid, there has to be the person of level of SDM must be there, and this person must ensure the selling of all these thing, and keep all records of the stock of this. For what purpose the acid has been used? Without any document from the government, ID card government has to release, and the purpose for the acid use has to be also there very clear cut mentioned. So if all these things are followed in the right manner, if we say about it, then I think we can do something concrete in that particular direction. Merely saying will not be sufficient. Being a law student, as I said, that you should also be vigilant, because young women, they are the one who are being targeted in this particular case more. As they say that not all acid direct cases are against women, but then nearly or we can say approximately 70% cases are against women. So one has to keep that in mind when they are talking about such kind of things, that this is the very ugly face of humanity. This is a very ugly face of society, or those people of society who are actually making us understand that not everything is all right with the society. So that's why we can see into these issues. Media is playing a role that we can see, but we do know that this is a very painful and very sorry phase of the society that society must rectify. And when I said about the patriarchy and all that, it should not only be part of an academic discourse, it must be a part of the social discourse. People should talk about it. As I said, the person who has done the offense must not be allowed to sit with the people of society, members of society. Even if the person is married, and if he has done something to the girl like this, or a woman to like this, then they must be thrown out of society. Unless and until society takes such kind of actions. See, artificially done effort are not have much shelf life, I must say that, unless it comes from the society. So that's why we have to understand this particular thing. Like I said, that even if there are laws and if people are doing, yes, rightly madam has mentioned in the beginning that cases are receding from 400 and 200 something plus, now they are becoming 100 plus. It means, yes, of course it is getting less, but then as I said, we cannot say for sure that how much it is happening. So monitoring is one very important part as far as implementation of law is concerned. Even as I say, vigilance on the part of society and monitoring on the part of the governmental body is very, very important, that one has to do. And educating women about it and men about it is also important. Rightly, it was being said by Vinay in the beginning that man is also included in that. So we have to take man into this whole debate along with us on board. So they should also understand that a no means a no. We cannot enforce and we cannot impose oneself upon others. We are living in a society which is based on agreement, consent, and acknowledging the fact that we all have equal place in the society. Now, it is not a man and a woman, but it is a person. So with these words, I would like to end my address. If you have any query or if you want to. So thank you once again, Professor Vinay, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us on this very key issue, which is going to be very, very dangerous for the society, not only for the women, because as all the speakers they have been taught, every man even having a woman in their life, not essentially in the form of wife only or the sister, but everybody is having a mother. So we have to respect the women. And you have already been talked about that this is not so okay. We have always to celebrate the Women Day only. This is very, very truly. I'm very much influenced by this very, address that we have to stop this celebrations for the women. So essentially, we have to take a human being only, not only especially a man and the woman. And you also stated that the most of the crimes and especially 70% of the victims or the survivors, we can say, this would be a true word for this, true expression for these people, those who have been actually facing this very problem. So 70% are the women. So this is very much pertinent at the moment that we have to sensitize the people by giving a proper education even that how we can stop this very practice by stopping or making restrictions on the sale of acid or making very strict laws. This is not very efficient. This would not be sufficient to stop this very problem. The thing is, we have to change the mindset. We have to sensitize the society. And very truly you said that there should be at least the social boycott. Those who are doing this, they must be socially boycotted. They must be thrown out of the society, because if they will be put in the jails, after few time they will be out. Unless until they are not being socially boycotted by the society, it will not be done. So this is the need of the art to do all this, so that this very menace in the society can be stopped. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for your very kind address, very enlightened address. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. So now, actually, in the minute to minute, we were having some a break of 15 minutes, but now the time itself is being over. So now I would like to start the first technical session. And in this very technical session, we do have our eminent speakers, eminent resource persons, Professor M.E. Upadhyay ma'am. She is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. We also have Naina Sahasrabuddhe ma'am. She is the Vice President of Shakti. And we also do have in this very session Dr. Napri Kaur, Vice President of Lakshmi Foundation. So first of all, I would like to call upon the mic Professor M.E. Upadhyay ma'am for your kind address, but I would also to have a privilege to introduce you before your address. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am is the Vice Chancellor. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please.
2 मिनट की ब्रेक दो, इनॉग्रल वाले अपना जो जाना चाहे वो जा सके. तुमने तो साथ के साथ ही पता नहीं जैसे.
I was looking forward. Actually, I was just looking towards the clock only. So, sure, ma'am. Okay, sure. So, thank you so much, all speakers, our guest, chief guest, keynote speaker, and in extension, guest of honor. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are happy if you join us furthermore, and if you are busy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor Vinay. Okay. सबको नमस्कार because अभी administrative duties भी हैं बहुत सारे.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ma'am, should we start now? Right. Ma'am, let me just introduce our first person in this technical session, Professor Ami Upadhyay ma'am. Ma'am is the Vice Chancellor of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Ma'am is being honored. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Make sure that all the dignitaries of this session have joined.
Yes, ma'am. I have already. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All have joined.
Okay.
Yes, I have been.
Visible on the screen, na?
Naina ma'am is there.
They're not visible.
I just finally.
I have also joined.
I think ITC will just take care of it, whether they can be displayed on the list. They're not being displayed. Already, if we see the list of participants, no, they are there.
Am I audible, dear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible. I'm just introducing you. Just a minute only, ma'am. So, ma'am is being honored with many rewards like Man Bhai Bhatt, Pratikshit Nagarak Saman, then Pride of the Nation Excellence Award 2021, Award of Honor for the Achievement as Open in the Distance Learning Administrator, NGS Vibrant Leadership Award 2020 for Excellence in the Innovative Practices in the Higher Education, the Best Vice Chancellor in Open in the Distance Learning Award, Lifetime Achievement Award, Best Use of the Social Media Award. Ma'am is also the member of various professional bodies like AAIU, lifetime membership. Ma'am is having a ranking, rating, and the accreditation committee, All India Universities, Disabled Welfare Committee, All India Universities, ICDE lifetime membership, then AIU member of Equivalence Committee, Gujarat Sahitya Academy membership as a executive committee member, then AIU Cultural Committee, AIU member of the Governing Council, as well as ma'am is also having the membership of the Finance Committee of All India Universities. Then ma'am is also having the membership in other committees like academic committees, rather we can say that, membership of English Language Teachers Association of India, life membership, Comparative Literature Association of India. Ma'am is also the life member of this, and she has been also published various articles, various books, many articles, publications, books, and ma'am has also guided around 7 PhD students, and many more things are being there in the ma'am's credit. So, not taking much time, I would like to call upon stage Professor Ami Upadhyay ma'am for your address. Ma'am, mic is yours, please.
Thank you very much, dear. Honorable Vice Chancellor, B.R. Ambedkar National University, Professor Vinay Kapoorji, and my co-panelists. It's really a matter of pleasure and privilege to address on an issue which is very much relevant concerning the whole society. And it's not only legal issue. It is legal issue that affects, that includes, that concerns educational, cultural, social, psychological aspects of an individual as well as the society. Since morning, I have been hearing, cherishing the talks by various speakers, and having the background of legal, most of them have covered very important legal aspects. So I feel that I would talk from a little bit different perspective. That when we talk that there are certain very stringent, very strong laws against such acid attack, which is a new face of gender-based violence, it is very important to understand that where is the root. First of all, acid attack is taken as a weapon
So while the others were telling that there should be ban on the acid sailing of acid, or maybe there's some constraint that it should not be that easily available. At the same time, one needs to study the psychology of an individual that is encouraged or that feels very strong urge to do it. First of all, there's difference between sex and gender. It talks about gender-based violence, not sex-based violence. So, biological, a female and male, a man and a woman, biological, they are different. That is their sex. When a girl is born, the gender and sex, yes, she's born as a female, as a woman, as a girl child. So that is a sex. Gender is more of a psychology or perception of an individual. She's looked at gender and then she's set into that stereotype of a gender biased roles, responsibilities, traits. Their gender comes in picture. So gender is more psychological, sociological, cultural, where sex is more scientific and biological. So when we talk about gender-based violence, it has much to do with the psychology, sociology, cultural, educational background of an individual and that particular society. When I say that particular society, why do I say so? Because if we take various countries, we see the difference in numbers. The research says there is difference. Okay, if we take up India, again in India also, various regions, various states have different numbers. Again in state also, particular area may have more. So caste, creed, maybe the way they have been brought up, educational background, cultural background, family background, all these things play very vital role when it comes to acid attack. So it is a gender-based violence. It is that psychology, perception makes them do all these things. So first of all, it is a weapon. It has to do much more with the psychology and sociology. Next, when we talk about that, when we say acid attack, why only women? Why not men? Why men attack women? Why women don't attack much on men? We have to understand that patriarchy where male is looked as comparatively at upper hand, at higher level. So somewhere that ego of that male ego, patriarchy, when either for the marriage or maybe the love relationship or maybe sex or having physical relationship, when a man feels rejected, that ego has very strong urge to revenge. So out of that feeling of revenge, that acid attack comes. So if we think first of all, the problem is male ego. When a child, when a son, when a boy in the house, in home, being brought up, it is a responsibility of the parents and relatives, the elder siblings, to continuously tell him that the girl in the family and you as a boy in the family, you are equal. You should respect the girls. The boys in the family should be taught to accept the rejections also. The boys in the family should be taught to respect girls, to respect their no also. So first of all, it starts from the family. That accepting failures, many times in corona also, that violence at home, domestic violence was more. Why? Because somewhere the earning was not taking place by the men outside, so that frustration was coming out on the girls and women of the house. So that they feel, somewhere the way they have been brought up, they feel that they should have a woman in the family, be it be mother, wife, sister or daughter, simply to puke out that frustration. So that very important training is required from home, even in the schools. And unfortunately, how many boys in the schools are being taught about acid attacks, or how they should respect the girls, that women, chivalry, how to respect girls and women. How many girls in the school, they have the part of the syllabi, self protection, self defense, having very high self esteem. So somewhere all these things play very vital role. As legal and other social, so I'm talking more about educational side of it also. Next is girls. Why don't have that power, very high self-esteem that no, when I say no, I mean it. No one can dare to it. The girls need to be well aware, well informed about the laws. The boys who attack, they don't know what are the results of it, what will be the consequences or penalty or punishment of it. So even the boys need to be trained that if you do this, that this will be the consequence. If you do this, this will be the at school level they should be taught. I doubt whether ever later they will ever dare to do it. Next, very important is why acid attack. I think this is something very, very important to spoil the beauty. As if the girl, her identity, her existence is simply because of the external beauty or that fair and lovely advertisement. So once you tarnish, once you try to destroy that external beauty, then that girl becomes zero value person. This perception needs to be changed, that a girl or a woman is not all synonymous for beauty. I do remember, Vinayji, long back when I was in school, I read a novel, Ena Sancha, where the protagonist says that I curse my this beautiful body, because of which people are not able to see something more important beyond this. And that is true. Why sometimes even girls and women, they are so conscious about that external beauty, that confidence within that individual, that stuff, that potential, that talent, everything as it becomes zero if the external beauty is not there. So when the society, when in the family girl is born, the color of skin doesn't matter, whether you are fat or not, that body positivity, that body positivity is very, very important. When that will prevail in the society, attacking beauty, external beauty of a woman will not be any more goal of a man or a boy in the society. So that is very, very important. Who can stop it? We can stop it. If law could stop completely, it would have stopped. It would have become zero. But parents, first of all, parents, bring up your sons in such a way that they will never be a man who will go for such acid attack. Second, schools, institutes, educational institutes, teach them, teach the girls self-defense also, creating their own identity, having very high self-esteem. They might be very ugly looking, but still very high self-esteem. The educational institutes should provide that kind of environment where the boys will learn to respect women, girls. They will learn to accept rejections also. They will learn to realize that a girl or a woman is not only beautiful body, it is much more than that. So that's very, very, very important. 10 years imprisonment, if every step is taken, it's not only 10 years imprisonment. As you know, Honorable Vice Chancellor earlier spoke, that rehabilitation, that okay, fine, once it is done, forget about it. Have that spirit to make the person realize, make the society realize. At the same time, continue your journey. When such men are exposed, who go for acid attack, when they are exposed, they are brought to the society and they are taught lesson. Not only that, setting an example for hundreds of them, making it aware, social media, spread it on social media. Social media can play a very vital role. A media, I can understand that can play a very vital role, but today morning only I was talking to a group of people. I told कि अभी newspapers तो छपते ही नहीं, वो पस्ती ही छपती है. No, many a times before being printed it is sold. So social media, because that an individual thought can reach to thousands, lakhs of people. On social media, shame the person who thinks this, who ever dare to do this. Pehle a girl who might have been attacked has to come out of that cocoon, has to share her story. If she shares a story, all the possible more hundreds would be able to save themselves. If a man comes forward and says that this is what I'm suffering, force him to come forward and say that एक क्षण में जो गलती की वो पूरी उम्र सहन करता है. So ask him to come in front of the people and ask him to confess. So at that time, such social awareness will play very, very vital role. I very strongly believe that such national law universities or maybe National Commission for Women, uh, one credit, two credit course where the self defense of women, laws for women, laws against domestic violence, laws against violence against the women, they should be part of syllabus at school level. That in secondary, higher secondary, every girl knows that what are her rights. She should know that how to protect herself. She should know that under which code, which law, this kind of people, who abuse women, domestic violence, acid attacks, or many more like that, they can be punished. If that becomes a part of syllabi, if that becomes part of curriculum, training at school level, women development cell or maybe cells of the sexual harassment against women, conducting one workshop here and there may not serve the purpose. They should be part of curriculum where they are taught. They have to appear for the examination. They have to remember all the possible that may change the society. I had to finish my address at 11:40, so I know the time is very very precious, and I don't want that the latest speaker do not have enough time to speak. I'm very thankful to the university, B.R. Ambedkar National Law University, and I'm very thankful to Professor Vinay Kapoorji, who has been working wonderfully. And under her leadership, the university witnessed many more milestones. And I'm sure that her further contribution to the field of education would be always notable, remarkable. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share my ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your address. So you very well said that first of all, this starts right from the family. We shouldn't make any difference between the male and a female, boy and the girl in family. We should teach them that they are equal in the family. And you rightly said that first of all we have to find the root. That what the root is behind all this violences, and whatever the perceptions all these wrongdoers they do have. Whenever they're doing anything wrong, they should be trolled on the social media. Social media can definitely play a very vital, very pivotal role. Whenever they will be trolled, they will be, taking care of all these things that we haven't to commit anything, or other people's, or those who are thinking about the commission of the same, they will be deterred, and the females they can be get saved from it. And one more important thing that you have been talked about is that the basic laws, the fundamental laws, they must be the part and parcel of the school curriculum, so that even the females they must having the knowledge of their rights, and all the school going students they must have the knowledge of their rights and duties, and they must have the training of self defense. So all this should be taken into account by the respective governments, that it should be made part and parcel of the school curriculum. And it might be a full course, or of course of 2 or 4 credits, so it can be made. So thank you so much, ma'am, for address. Thank you so much. Next speaker we have, next resource person we have, Naina Shahastra ma'am. So I would like to introduce Naina Shahastra ma'am with all the participants. Naina Shahastra ma'am is the Vice President of Bharatiya Stri Shakti. Right from the school time, we have been always interested in the literature, social work, writing, and tracking. We have been worked as an active member of Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. In the year 2000, in the year 1984, you got a job in the Bank of Maharashtra and performed various duties. And presently, you are working as a Vice President of the Bharatiya Shakti. So, ma'am, we welcome you. So now the mic is yours for your address.
Namaskar. Thank you, Amit ji, for good words about me. Thank you, Vinay Kapoor ji, Vice Chancellor of Baba Saheb Ambedkar National Law University. My previous speaker, Professor Ami Upadhyay, Madam, and in the first session, those who spoke very well, Rekha ji and Raka ji and all this. This is a very good topic which this university has chosen for this webinar, and very pertinent topic. And on this, when I see or look at this topic or at this issue, and when I see while working in Bharatiya Stree Shakti for last 30 years, the complexity of this topic is so huge. क्योंकि कौन सा भी एक आधा प्रश्न है वो एक सिंगुलर इस तरीके का प्रश्न नहीं होता है, वो सामाजिक, आर्थिक, भावनिक, मानसिक, पारिवारिक, जितने भी आप कोई भी उससे फ्रेमवर्क ले सकते हैं, इससे फ्रेमवर्क से जुड़ा हुआ विषय होता है। और आज के समय में मैं जब देखती हूँ तो जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंस या लिंगाधारित अपराध जितने भी अपने समाज में ध्यान में आ रहे हैं, दिख रहे हैं, बढ़ रहे हैं, जिसके बारे में हम सब चिंतित है, वो सभी लिंगाधारित अपराध या जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंस, न्यू एज क्राइम आर वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स। इसमें सेक्स की बात है, उसमें वायलेंस है, उसमें क्रुएल्टी है, रिवेंज लेने की बात है। और जब हमारी बुद्धि या हमारी सोच ऐसे बहुत अलग अलग विषयों से जब जड़ता बुद्धि की आ जाती है, और जब हमारे देश में जो संरचनाएं इसमें उपलब्ध है, जो सिस्टम्स विच आर अवेलेबल फॉर अस, मे बी लीगल सिस्टम, मे बी पुलिस, मे बी पॉलिसी मेकर्स, मे बी एजुकेशनिस्ट एंड ऑल, इनकी जब असंवेदनशीलता एक साथ आती है, जब हमारी बुद्धि की जड़ता और सिस्टम्स की असंवेदनशीलता जब इकट्ठा आती है, तो जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स है वो और ही कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाते हैं। और उनको किस एंगल से देखें, किस जड़ पे प्रहार करें, किस जड़ को तोड़े और नया कुछ बने, इसमें सोचना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। ये मेरा अनुभव है। चाहे वो रेप की बात हो, चाहे वो स्टॉकिंग की बात हो, चाहे वो साइबर क्राइम की बात हो, और जिस तरीके से अलग अलग नए नए क्राइम के प्रकार सामने आ रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से youth is being indulged in this anti-social, anti-women activities, I am very much scared, and I am very much scared about the things and the status of the society which is going to happen after some 10, 20, 15 years. मेरे पूर्व वक्ताओं ने बहुत सारे विषय, इसके लीगल एस्पेक्ट के बारे में बात की है, सोशल एस्पेक्ट के बारे में बात की है, पैट्रियार्की के माइंडसेट के बारे में बात की है। और मैं जब इसके सोशियो और लीगल एस्पेक्ट्स और चुनौतियों की तरफ देखती हूँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि काउंसलिंग ऑफ बॉयज एंड एट द सेम टाइम ऑफ गर्ल्स इज वेरी मच इम्पोर्टेंट। हमें लड़कों का जो काउंसलिंग करना है वो कौन से मुद्दों पे करना है, उसमें एक बहुत सारे हम उनके एडोलेसेंट एज में जो भी साइकोलॉजिकल विषय आते हैं उनके बारे में तो काउंसलिंग स्कूलों में, कॉलेजेस में होता है। लेकिन एक मुद्दे के ऊपर मुझे लगता है ध्यान हमें देना चाहिए, तो जब राइट टू से नो नकाराधिकार है, चाहे वो लड़की का हो या चाहे लड़के का हो, तो वो लड़की के नकाराधिकार के बारे में वी शुड बी सेंसिटाइजिंग आवर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन। क्योंकि किसी भी लड़की को प्यार में नकार देने का, किसी भी लड़के के साथ शादी ना करने का उसका अधिकार है, उसे हमें एक्सेप्ट करना होगा, मान्य करना होगा। एट द सेम टाइम वी शुड सेंसिटाइज गर्ल्स फॉर एनफोर्सिंग दैट राइट टू से नो। बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि लड़का पीछे पीछे लग रहा है तो समाज क्या कहेगा, परिवार क्या कहेगा, घर वाले क्या कहेंगे, इस तरीके से प्रेशर्स के कारण लड़कियां भी एट द सही मोमेंट जो ना बोलना है नहीं करती। मैं बैंक में काम करती हूँ जैसे, तो हम हमेशा बोलते हैं कि हिट एट फर्स्ट डिफॉल्ट। जब मतलब हम लोन देते हैं और कोई लोन नहीं भरता है, कि इंस्टॉलमेंट नहीं आती है, तो हम कहते हैं कि उसी समय अगर आपने हिट किया, उस बोरोवर को कांटेक्ट किया, तो पैसा आने का मौका बढ़ता है, अदरवाइज आप भूल गए तो पैसा नहीं आएगा। सेम वे जब लड़की को लगता है कि ये सामने वाला लड़का मेरे लिए सूटेबल नहीं है, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है, तो एट द फर्स्ट इंस्टेंट शी शुड क्लियरली say no to him. और ये बताने के लिए इंसल्ट करने की, बहुत एग्रेसिव होने की भी आवश्यकता नहीं है, बट यू शुड बी फर्म इन योर डिसीजन, यू शुड बी फर्म इन योर कम्युनिकेशन, और आपने ये नकाराधिकार जो है आपका, राइट टू से नो है, इसको हमने जताना चाहिए। अदरवाइज जितने भी हम आईपीसी, सीपीसी या एविडेंस एक्ट, इसमें जितने भी हम प्रावधान लाएंगे, जितने भी हम चेंजेस करेंगे, वो चेंजेस नहीं होने वाले हैं। और अगर ये सेंसिटिविटी जेंडर के बारे में गैर कानूनी अगर हम कोई काम करते हैं तो उसके बारे में होने वाले जो भी पनिशमेंट है उसके बारे में अगर हम नहीं करेंगे, या कोई पुलिस बंदा है जो ऐसे लड़के की कंप्लेंट दर्ज नहीं करा रहा है, तो ही शुड बी अकाउंटेबल। इन सब बातों के बारे में जब तक हम सेंसिटाइजेशन एट ऑल लेवल्स, राइट फ्रॉम चाइल्डहुड एज, राइट फ्रॉम स्कूलिंग डेज, और आगे चल के कॉलेज में या जैसे भी आप आगे आपकी नौकरी में जाएंगे, तो ये सेंसिटाइजेशन की बहुत आवश्यकता है। दूसरा मुझे पॉइंट जो रखना है आपके सामने, वो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ द इशू, क्योंकि कोई भी जेंडर बेस्ड जो वायलेंस है वो केवल एक व्यक्ति, एक लड़की और एक लड़का, इनके बीच का वो वायलेंस नहीं होता है, इसके लिए बहुत सारे इश्यूज इन्वॉल्व होते हैं। मेरे पूर्व वक्ताओं ने कहा था कि ऐसा जब कभी भी क्राइम होगा तो वो क्राइम करने वाले अपराधी को हमने तुरंत बैन करना चाहिए, उसको हमने एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना चाहिए एज ए सोसाइटी और समाज इस तरीके से। अगर आप लेकिन देखेंगे किसी एक लड़की का पति और किसी लड़की के साथ एसिड अटैक करता है, या आजकल आपने देखा होगा कि 30% बॉयज और मेन आर आल्सो विक्टिम्स ऑफ एसिड अटैक। तो जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंस तो है ही ये, लेकिन आज ये सोशल भी अपराध एक बन गया है, तो इसकी तरफ हम ध्यान देंगे। अगर किसी भी औरत का पति उसको मतलब वो परपेट्रेटर है, वो कोई अपराध करता है, बट इफ द वाइफ is not in a position to go away with her livelihood and all these things, she will be never in a position to oppose her husband for the crime which he has done. या अपने जो पारिवारिक संबंध है, माँ बेटे के संबंध है, इसके लिए माताएं, पत्नियां या परिवार भी ऐसे परपेट्रेटर को, अपराधी को कभी डिसोन नहीं करते हैं। तो यहाँ भी हमें सेंसिटिविटी क्रिएट करने की आवश्यकता है, ये मुझे लगता है। इसके जो सोशल एस्पेक्ट्स है, लैक ऑफ एजुकेशन है, लैक ऑफ जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, नो एक्सेस टू लीगल सिस्टम्स है, नो एक्सेस टू लीगल अवेयरनेस है, इन सब चीजों का भी ऐसे अपराधों के ऊपर परिणाम होता है। इसकी तरफ भी हमने ध्यान देना चाहिए, क्योंकि 1+1 इज इक्वल टू 2 ये मैथमेटिक्स में हो सकता है, या H2 + SO4 डाला तो H2SO4 बनेगा, ये केमिस्ट्री में हो सकता है। ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप में या मानवीय संबंध जहाँ पर है, यहाँ ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, इसकी तरफ हमें ध्यान देना चाहिए। और जब हम किसी भी अपराध के पीछे की कारणों की एक श्रृंखला देखते हैं कि इस लड़के ने ऐसा क्यों किया, हम टेस्टिमनीज देखते हैं, फिल्मों में इसके उदाहरण देखते हैं, कोई उपन्यास में हम जैसा लिखा हुआ देखते हैं, तो एकादा अपराध होने के पीछे जो पहली उसकी पूर्व पीठिका है, कारणों की एक जो लिंक है, एक जो कड़ी है, उन कड़ियों को भी देखना चाहिए। और व्हेनेवर वी कैन कट एनी ऑफ द जॉइंट, इसी श्रृंखला की एक भी कड़ी अगर हम तोड़ पाएंगे, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये पूरी श्रृंखला टूट सकती है। इसलिए ये कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ द इशू जो है वो हमने देखना चाहिए। अभी आमी मैडम ने भी मिथ्स एंड मिसकंसेप्शन अबाउट गर्ल्स, उसकी सुंदरता के बारे में, उसके बॉडीली अपीयरेंस के बारे में, इसके बारे में भी बात की। तो लड़की ने हमेशा सुंदर ही दिखना चाहिए, लड़की ने समय पे शादी ही करनी चाहिए, ऐसी जो पैट्रियार्कल और एक माइंडसेट जो हमारा बना है, उसके तरफ भी हमने देखना चाहिए और उसे तोड़ने के, जो गलत चीजें उनको तोड़ने का प्रयास करना चाहिए। जैसे पुरुषों के या बच्चों के मन में हम मर्दानगी की कल्पना उनके बचपन से लेके एक इम्बाइब करते हैं या उनके मन में डालते रहते हैं कि जैसे लड़का है तो उसको हम पिस्तौल देंगे खेलने के लिए, लड़की है तो उसको किचन सेट देंगे, डॉल देंगे, इस तरीके की चीजों के कारण हम एक कॉन्सेप्ट उनके मन में, वी आर मेकिंग अ चाइल्ड आइदर एज अ गर्ल, एज अ मैन और एज अ वुमन, हम जो बनाते हैं उस समय भी हमने सोचना चाहिए। हर व्यक्ति का एक सेंस ऑफ प्राइड होता है, वो सेंस ऑफ प्राइड शायद उसके इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस पे से आ जाता है, आ सकता है, एजुकेशनल स्टेटस से आ सकता है, कास्ट रिलेटेड चीजों से आ सकता है। ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजों जो उनके सेंस ऑफ प्राइड को बढ़ावा देते हैं, उसको एक क्रिएट करते हैं और आगे बढ़ावा देते हैं। तो वो सेंस ऑफ डिप्राइविटी एंड सेंस ऑफ प्राइड, ये एक दूसरे के सामने या एक सिक्के के दो पहलू है, ऐसा मैं कहूंगी। तो when a person is deprived by the society due to economic status, maybe educational status, maybe because of caste status or anything, तो ये डिप्राइवेशन जो है, इस डिप्राइवेशन के से लोगों को बाहर निकालना ये बहुत जरूरी है। तीसरा मुद्दा मुझे ये रखना है आज की तारीख में कि इमोशन मैनेजमेंट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड साइकोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ ऑल जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंसेस, क्योंकि बहुत सारे जो महिलाओं के बारे में होने वाले जघन्य अपराध है, इसमें ये इमोशन का मैनेजमेंट परपेट्रेटर के द्वारा ना होना ये बड़ा कारण है। क्योंकि मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आया और मैं गुस्से में आके ये काम कर दिया, कि गुस्से में आके मैंने मेरी पत्नी को मारा, गुस्से में आके मैंने किसी को स्टैब किया, गुस्से में आके मैंने एसिड खरीदा और डाल दिया। ऐसे जो इमोशनल मैनेजमेंट का एक ट्रेनिंग वो होना जरूरी है, और केवल महिलाओं के अपराधों की तक ये सीमित नहीं है। जैसे बढ़ती हुई आत्महत्याओं का अगर हम स्तर देखेंगे तो उसके लिए भी ये इमोशन मैनेजमेंट, एक निगेटिविटी मैनेजमेंट, या जिससे मीडिया का हम उपयोग ऐसे जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंस के बारे में एक अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करने के लिए उपलब्ध कर सकते हैं, उपयोग कर सकते हैं। वैसे मीडिया से आने वाली जो चीजें हैं, जो एक सांस्कृतिक आक्रमण है बच्चों के ऊपर, उसकी तरफ भी हमें ध्यान देना चाहिए। और सोशल मीडिया, इंटरनेट इज प्लेइंग ए बिग रोल इन क्या बोलेंगे कि भावनाओं को ज्यादा उद्दीपित करने का काम वहां से हो रहा है। जब हम पोर्न कंटेंट देखते हैं, और पोर्न कंटेंट नेवर कम्स विद सोफिस्टिकेटेड सेक्सुअल रिलेशनशिप, पोर्न कंटेंट में हमेशा आपको हिंसा दिखेगी, और जब वो बच्चे देखते हैं तो उनकी भावनाओं का भी एक उद्दीपन होता है, एंड दे आर गोइंग बियॉन्ड कंट्रोल ऑफ और मैनेजमेंट ऑफ देयर इमोशंस। इसकी तरफ भी हमें देखना चाहिए। दूसरा, जो आज हम हमारे जैसे एक तरीके से क्या कहेंगे सक्सेसफुल पेरेंट्स है, जो हमने एक कुछ यश पाया है, हमने एक एजुकेशन हासिल किया है, उसके कारण हमने एक नौकरी पाई है, और उसके कारण हम एक स्तर का जीवन जी रहे हैं। उनके बच्चों को ऐसा लगता है कि एवरीथिंग व्हाटएवर आई वांट टू गेट आई शुड गेट, एंड दैट इज सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट। तो ये सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट आज की पीढ़ी में बहुत भारी मात्रा में डेवलप हो रहा है, एंड विदाउट पर्सनल level of understanding, without personal capacity, they are thinking that I should get all these things because I am somebody, I am beta of somebody, I am betty of somebody. अभी आपने यूक्रेन से जो बच्चे आ रहे हैं उनके कुछ वीडियोस देखे होंगे, तो मुझे ये लगता है कि ये सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट जो लगता है बच्चों को कि सरकार ने ये करना चाहिए, हमारे पेरेंट्स ने ये करना चाहिए, जन प्रतिनिधियों ने ये करना चाहिए, लेकिन they are not asking the same question to their own to oneself that what I should do. इसके बारे में भी हमने एक बड़ा मंथन करना चाहिए। और आज का जो विषय है एसिड अटैक का, उसके जो कारण है उसके बारे में बहुत चर्चा करने की भी आवश्यकता नहीं, क्योंकि प्यार को नकारा तो एसिड डालो, किसी की दुश्मनी है बदला लेना है, उसके बारे में 2013 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट की गाइडलाइन भी आई है। फिर भी आज भी वो गाइडलाइन फॉलो न होने के कारण एसिड्स जो है वो एसिड्स इजीली अवेलेबल है। इन एसिड्स पे बैन इसलिए नहीं हो सकता है क्योंकि वो और किसी काम के उपयोग में लाए जाने वाली चीज है। जैसे कोई भी एसिड एक अपने गाड़ी की मरम्मत करने वाला भी रखता है, कोई सुनार भी अपने पास रखता है, क्योंकि that is a part of their profession which is required for the processes which they are following. इसलिए पूरा बैन तो इस पे नहीं हो सकता है, लेकिन जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस है वो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस को हमने फॉलो करना चाहिए। और जैसे कि लाइसेंस सेलर एंड परचेजर ओनली कैन सेल और परचेज द एसिड्स, उसका एक नोटिंग होना चाहिए कि किसने एसिड खरीदा है, क्यों खरीदा है, और इसके रीजन के साथ ये भी हमें देखना चाहिए। और जितने भी कानूनी चीजें बदल गई है उसको हमें फॉलो करके इन अपराधों को रोकने के लिए प्रयास करना चाहिए। ये एक अपराध का ऐसा विशिष्ट प्रकार है, जेंडर बेस्ड वायलेंस है और सोशल वायलेंस भी है। वो एसिड इम्पैक्टेड व्यक्ति की पूरे जिंदगी का नुकसान करता है, लेकिन इसके लिए जो नुकसान भरपाई या मुआवजा है वो केवल 3 लाख का है। बहुत सारे मुद्दे पहले इसमें भी आए हैं, लेकिन उनको अपने पैरों पे खड़े रहने के लिए जॉब देना, नौकरी में उनको उपलब्ध कराना, ये तो पूरी समाज की एक जिम्मेदारी है, ऐसा मैं मानती हूँ। उनकी शिक्षा अगर रुकी है तो शिक्षा को ना रोकते हुए उनको आगे जाने के लिए पूरे प्रयास करना, पूरे सहायता करना। जो मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज उनको चाहिए होंगी उन आरोग्य सुविधाओं को उपलब्ध करा देना, कानूनी सहायता उपलब्ध कराना, और ये जो डैमेज करने की जो इच्छा है, डिफॉर्मिटी या डिसफिगरेशन करने की जो इच्छा है, इसके कारण वो व्यक्ति एक ट्रॉमा में चली जाती है। मैं अभी जिंदगी में किसी को मुंह दिखाने के लायक नहीं रही, ऐसा उस लड़की को लगता है, तो उसका एक काउंसलिंग करना और सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस भी बढ़ाना, ये भी हमारी सबकी जिम्मेदारी है। इस एसिड अटैक के कारण दृष्टिहीनता आ सकती है, दृष्टिबाधितता आ सकती है, प्लास्टिक सर्जरीज करनी पड़ सकती है, कोर्ट केसेस को झेलना पड़ सकता है। ऐसी बहुत सारी जो चीजें हैं उन चीजों की तरफ हमने ध्यान देना चाहिए। जब मैं इसके बारे में पढ़ रही थी, या हमारे भारतीय स्त्री शक्ति के कॉन्फ्रेंस में लक्ष्मी अग्रवाल जी को भी हमने बुलाया था, तो उन्होंने ये कहा था कि एक डिसेबिलिटी सर्टिफिकेट हासिल करना, और उसके कारण उसके बिना ऐसी लड़कियां जो है वो आगे का जो डिस्कोर्स है, लीगल हो या चाहे इकोनॉमिक हो, एजुकेशनल हो, उसमें वो जा ही नहीं सकती है। ये जो चीज है, इसके लिए डिसेबिलिटी सर्टिफिकेट देने के लिए मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर्स का भी एक अवेयरनेस करना बहुत जरूरी है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 2013 में जो गाइडलाइन दी है उनको भी हमें फॉलो करना है। और आज एसिड अटैक इज नॉट ए क्वेश्चन लिमिटेड टू इंडिया और साउथ ईस्ट एशिया। आज यूनाइटेड किंगडम में और लंदन में भी सबसे ज्यादा मात्रा में एसिड अटैक होते हैं। और एक दिस इज अ हेट क्राइम, इट इज नो डाउट ए जेंडर क्राइम, बट द बेसिक इंस्टिंक्ट बिहाइंड दिस क्राइम इज हेट। और वो मेल शोवेनिज्म हो या इसकी तरीके के जो हेट के कारण है, तो इमोशन मैनेजमेंट की तरफ भी हमने इसको देखना चाहिए, ऐसा मुझे लगता है। द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ इशू को मैंने आपके सामने रखा है, और लिखूं टू द टाइम शेड्यूल, मुझे लगता है अवॉइडिंग ऑल द रिपीटेशंस, आई वांटेड टू मेक 2-3 पॉइंट्स कि लिंगाधारित अपराध की कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को हम समझे, महिलाओं को के नकाराधिकार, राइट टू से नो, इसके बारे में हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करें। इसका सोशल स्पिरिचुअल स्ट्रेंथनिंग भी हमें करना पड़ेगा। जब संस्कारों की वगैरह बात करते हैं तो कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि ये तो बड़े मॉरल पुलिसिंग वाले लोग हैं, ये ऐसे करते हैं, लेकिन बहुत बार ऐसा देखा गया है कि so many problems are not solved out of laws because implementation of the laws also is weak. लेकिन इसी समय अगर हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी, रिलीजन का आधार लेके भी अगर बच्चों को कुछ समझाएंगे, तो मुझे लगता है कि इसका होलिस्टिक हमने थिंकिंग करना चाहिए। और ये होलिस्टिक थिंकिंग के साथ साथ होलिस्टिक और नए नए प्रयोगशील ऐसे कुछ नुस्खे हमने ढूंढ लाने पड़ेंगे कि और ये जो एक अपराध के पीछे कारणों की जो कड़ी है उन कड़ी को तोड़ने का प्रयास हमने समाज मिलके, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट करके, लॉ इंस्टीट्यूट करके या लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी करके सब मिलने, एनसीडब्ल्यू हो, चाहे जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं, सबने मिलके करना चाहिए. Thank you, Baba Saheb Ambedkar University, for bringing this pertinent issue on the discussion level. Thank you, Amit ji. Thank you, Vinay Kapoor ji, and all participants, those who are joined in this webinar. And thank you for giving me opportunity to keep my views in front of you. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. So you have been enlightened us on the very, fairly, we can say, on the social issues, that what the reasons are, what are the social reasons for this, how we can stop. We should sensitize the people. We should sensitize the youngsters, especially those who are being getting involved in such kind of crimes. So now we do have next resource person with us, Dr. Napreet Kaur, who is a Vice President of Lakshmi Foundation. So I welcome ma'am you on the floor. So now the mic is yours for your address, please ma'am. Dr. Napreet Kaur. Am I audible?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, perfectly audible.
Thank you very much. I'm a very respected Madam Vinay Kapoor ji, my teacher, and Dr. Guleria ji, my friend Dr. Sukhvinder, and all the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak on a topic very close to my heart. So, if she can't be mine, she can't be anyone else. अगर वो मेरी नहीं हो सकी तो किसी की नहीं हो सकेगी. This statement has an inherent gender bias where women are treated as an object and is one of the primary reasons why acid attacks are so prevalent in our society. Vitriolage. See, acid attack is also known as vitriolage. I would like to talk about the socio, medical, legal, all the provisions related to acid attacks, like vitriolage. Why acid attack is known as vitriolage? Because it is kind of oil of vitriol. Sulfuric acid is used in the cases of acid attacks. गंधक का जो acid होता है ज़्यादातर वो use किया जाता है. Why this such kind of act? It is an intentional act, I would say, where the intention is to disfigure, maim, torture, to destroy the beauty of the woman, very rarely to kill. Though acid attack is a crime which can be committed against any man or any woman, but if we see the various cases, it has a specific gender dimension, as most of the reported cases in our country has been committed on the woman. As per my research, 70 to 80% of the women remain females in India. There are various reasons, but I would suggest that the main reason is patriarchy and inequality, which is enrooted in the mind of our society. Men justify their act of disfiguring women that often spring from her refusal to reciprocate their love. They are not conditioned to hear no from a woman. From our childhood, they are brought up like that. They are not ready to say no from a woman. The violence is kind of a revenge caused by intolerance or being rejected. As long as women did not gather the courage to say no in the history, it was fine with the society. Women remained vulnerable and they were easy to exploit. I have a question for the audience. See, for all the middle class women, I would say, can you ask in your house to your husband that I will not cook, I will not clean the house? You will get the answer because they are not ready to accept the no. Despite all the education, all the sophistication, a woman's confidence to reject a man's proposal is still the most humiliating experience for a man. Historically and even today, men have had jurisdiction over both the public sphere and the private sphere. Either it is political, economic, cultural affairs, or management of the house. They were all in the hands of a man. They are still in the hands of the man. Whereas women are expected to involve themselves only in the private sphere of the home, just to raise a child. Now the situation is changing. We are trying to change the situation. See, the Vice Chancellor of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University is a woman. Today, women are coming out as a winners in every field of life. There is an increasing opposition and intolerance among men towards these achievements. Men, due to their ego, are not able to tolerate the success of a woman. They cannot tolerate their success, and sometimes their ego becomes so dangerous that they hurt a woman by throwing acid on her. I would like to share a case of Preeti Rathi from Delhi. She was a Delhi resident. She was attacked by her neighbor out of jealousy. Why? What was the reason? Ankur, the perpetrator, was then unemployed while Preeti had just got a job. Out of jealousy, out of anger, he decided to disfigure her and he attacked her in very brutal manner with acid. And after battling for a month, she died. And further, I would say media is also playing a big role. Media is showing the obscene things. They are showing such kind of things like if we talk about the child, what kind of fairy tales we show to the children. Cinderella, where a girl is shown as powerless and a king or a prince will come and will support her. There are so many songs, there are so many movies which just talk about sex, violence against a woman. Patriarchy, male ego, rejection in love, refusal of indecent proposal, suspicion of infidelity are some of the reasons, and despite this cheap and easy availability of acid, we can buy acid very easily. It is easily available in India. We can buy sulfuric acid, जो गंधक acid होता है, hardly in 20 to 30 rupees. We have discussed so many reasons. The former speakers have mentioned so many reasons, but according to me, no reason of acid attack is justifiable. We say that it is newly fangled crime, the new face of crime, but it is not new. Acid attack is not new. See, we never talk about acid attacks prior to 2013. If we see the case of Hazara Singh in the year of 1958, it was case of infidelity where a woman was attacked with acid by her own husband. If we talk about Bhagalpur blinding case, it is a horrifying case of acid violence in the history of India. It involves the forcible blinding of detainees by pouring acid into their eyes. Bollywood movies like Gangajal or a documentary The Eyes of Darkness, it reveals the horrific effect of the Bhagalpur blinding case. As I said, I will discuss the medical aspect also. So usually what kind of agents are used for the acid attack? See, the most common type of acid I think is which is used is sulfuric, hydrochloric acid or nitric acid, which have local chemical reaction. It just destroy your tissues. When you comes in contact with the such kind of chemicals, it just destroy your skin, your body, your bones. And if we say what are the effects of acid attack on the woman or the victim, it causes perpetual suffering to the victim. It causes physical, psychological, emotional, economic, social, and many other kinds of effects. If we talk specifically about the medical, the physical effects, if the body where it is touched, like skull, forehead, ears, they may be partly destroyed, deformed, shrinked. Hair are usually lost. You can see there are countless acid attack survivors who don't have eyebrows, who don't have ears, or their eyes are totally damaged. When direct acid contacts with the eyes or acid vapors come, it immediately damages the eyes. It causes blindness. Even if eye survives, the survivor remains vulnerable or to the threat that they may become blind in the future. This is very difficult to prevent. Even the face, the nose, you can see, if you can go through the pictures of the acid attack survivor, if you ever meet, you will see their nose are shrunken, their mouth is shrunk and narrow, and they lose their shapes. Even sometimes teeth are also affected. It becomes difficult for them to eat the food. And all the body part wherever acid touches, it is totally burned, because when the concentrated acid is thrown on a person, it instantly melts through the skin and tissue and often down to the bone, typically aimed at the person's face. The acid quickly eats their eyes, ears, and all the body parts. As I began that it is to maim, to disfigure, to destroy the beauty. The mortality rate, the death rate is only hardly 2 to 8%, because the major target is to disfigure and to ruin the life and not to kill. I will destroy your beauty. If you can't be mine, you cannot be someone's. When we say मेरी नहीं हो सकी, किसी की नहीं हो सकी, it is just kind of, we are focusing on bridal makeup. We never focused on bridegroom's makeup. Beauty is such an object. Woman has become such an object that they are treated like just give it to someone or take someone as you want. So other than the physical effects, victims also suffer symptoms which are psychological, such as depression, insomnia, nightmares, fear about another attack. They fear weakness, depression, ashamed, worried. They have to cover their faces many times. If you have seen the movie Shapak, you must understand how a child become afraid when they see an acid attack victim. Yesterday, one of my colleagues, she told me that her child was afraid after seeing the pictures of acid attack victim. So such kind of humiliation they feel. And here I want to, everyone was quoting Lakshmi, and they were saying Lakshmi as is an inspiration. I want everyone to listen this carefully. See, acid attacks affects economically very much, because the acid attack survivor become no longer able to study or work. They become dependent on their family. Lakshmi was a minor, hardly 15 years old. She was just in her 10th class matriculation. After that, she stopped studying. It was not easy for her. Everyone say that she is woman of courage. Thus, she has received so many awards. International Courage of Award in 2014. Government departments have given her so many awards. If you can search on the Google, you will come to know in 2018, she was not even able to pay her rent. She has no job. She is just giving lectures, the motivational lectures only. There a movie came on her name, but what's the reality? Nobody knows the reality. Lakshmi Agarwal won the hearts, but circumstances are like that. She at one day she was not able to survive. So victims face lifetime discrimination from the society, and they become lonely many times. Marriage, which is a very important perspective in our society, which is based on the beauty of a woman. Its first preference of, if the first preference we say is the beauty of a woman, when the beautiful face of a woman is disfigured, she lost the chances of getting married. we just talk about like we are helping, we have made so many laws, have made so many policies, everyone is doing something, but nobody is aware of the ground reality. If we talk about the other countries, acid attack have been documented in various different parts of the society, especially in the South Asian countries. Certain social and cultural issues are responsible for these attacks, including patriarchal system, refusal of marriage, dowry, marital disputes, and many more. See, Bangladesh, if I say, was the country with the highest incidence of acid violence. Over almost about 3,000 to 4,000 cases comes from the Bangladesh. The same reason there was patriarchy. Almost 80% of victims were acid attacks or were women. However, in 2002, Bangladesh was the first country to pass a law banning acid violence, once known as the country with the highest number of such attacks. The cases reduced dramatically. In 2002, the Bangladesh introduced the death penalty for the acid attack and law strictly controlling the sale, usage, storage, and the trade of acid. That is Acid Crime Control Act and Acid Control Act 2002. So, if we talk about India, I'm giving lecture in the very reputed University of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, how our constitution starts? With what words our constitution starts? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has given us our constitution. We, the people of India. When we talk about we, it means there is equality in men, women, transgender. Everyone is equal. Equality runs like throughout the constitution. We have article 14, 15, 16, 17 and many more articles where women are given equal space to the men. But what is the actual situation? Till 2013, prior to 2013 Criminal Law Amendment Act, we never discussed about acid attacks. Everyone say that Lakshmi versus Union of India के acid attack का case हुआ, but there were so many cases where nobody bothered. Like even if someone is throwing hot water, someone is throwing hot tea or acid is being thrown on a person, same punishment was given. So they were only punished under section 319, 20, 322, 325 or 26 of IPC. This Lakshmi filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court in the 2006, in which the Law Commission of India was added as respondent number 2. Though the commission pointed out to the court that the relief in the petition cannot be prayed from the Law Commission, but the Law Commission decided to take up the matter suo motu in the view of gravity of the offence. It was only after the case of Nirvar that the discussion regarding acid attack or POSH Act began. The Law Commission clearly said that there is no specific section of acid attack, so we need new provisions. So accordingly, section 326A and 326B were included in the Indian Penal Code. I will not discuss this in detail because already some speakers has discussed about these cases. Criminal law amendment were made, so Code of Criminal Procedure was also amended. Section 357A, B, C. So there comes the punishment was increased by 326 and B. Also, the discussion was about rehabilitation and compensation. So, what kind of compensation was provided before Lakshmi versus Union of India? It was hardly 5,000 to 50,000. So, in the case of Lakshmi versus Union of India, there are three important cases, I would say, which are directly connected with the compensation for acid attack victims. Firstly, Lakshmi versus Union of India, in the case of year of 2014, where compensation of 3 lakh were fixed. and after that courts thought that there should be only the amount of only 3 lakh should be provided. But it was in the case of Parivartan Kendra versus Union of India in 2006, where the court said the 3 lakh compensation as provided by Supreme Court in Lakshmi versus Union of India should be treated as minimum, and the states should provide for more amount as a compensation where there is needed. So it means percentage of burn. And then third important case is Nipun Saxena versus Union of India, where the NALSA victim compensation scheme was approved. What is NALSA victim compensation scheme? When the Lakshmi versus Union of India, the decision came in 2013, the role of the state legal services authority began, because they are responsible for providing compensation through the state. So in the beside victim compensation of scheme of states, there is NALSA victim compensation scheme, in the which compensation is provided from 3 lakh to 8 lakh as per the percentage of the burns. If we talk about the role of the legal services authority, they have to provide compensation. They have to provide the support of paralegal volunteers to the acid attack survivors, who will support them throughout their journey, from legal, compensation, medical. And beside this, legal services authority have to provide free legal aid under legal services to victims of acid attacks scheme. And if we talk about the treatment, there is section 357C, Lakshmi versus Union of India, and many other decisions by Supreme Court, where there is clearly mentioned that medical assistance should be provided to the victim of acid attack, and the private hospital should also provide free medical treatment, first aid. Certificate that individual is a victim of an acid attack should also be provided. Disability certificate, which this former ma'am has discussed. See here, we are providing treatment. We are providing some kind of medical support. But when a person is from Punjab, from Uttar Pradesh, he or she is moving to another state for treatment, like they are going to Delhi for treatment, where would they stay? For pre-treatment and post-treatment, such kind of provisions, such kind of rehabilitation provisions are not there in our country. After Lakshmi's case, the acid was included in Poisons Act. So, every person, so it becomes important, license becomes important for selling acid. No person without license can sell acid in their shop. There are specific guidelines. So I will not go in details because of this time. But simple thing is which I want to share, that no person can buy acid below the age of 18 years. 8 years he should be an adult. And if some person is selling acid without declaring the stock to the STM, he will be punished. He will be fined with 50,000 and imprisonment, which may be from 1 month to 6 months. So, if we talk about the role of the National Commission for Women, see, it is a very important statutory body that organizing very good conferences, seminars. They are supporting many survivors. So, but the thing is, one thing I really want to mention is that they have put something review. They have started review of acid attack cases by for the redressal and compensation, some kind of digital databases there. They are recording the data. I have made RTI, so they almost told me that almost from for the years of 10, for almost a decade, there were almost 670 or 680 cases, they told me. But I feel there are much more cases. If in a year 250 to 300 cases of acid attacks are reported, then the data should be higher. If I talk about the incidents, as I already said, the cases remain between 230 to 250. But one important thing I want to mention here is that of which is a very big problem, that is of unreported cases. Because of the problem of underreporting of the cases, with the constant rise in the acid attack, it has become difficult to determine the exact extent and the exact nature of the crime against women accurately. There are countless cases, I'm saying there are countless cases where some poor girls never filed FIR or they took back the case due to family pressure. I'm talking about the case of acid attacks. I don't know about the other cases, other kind of crimes. See, I met a woman named Ruqayya. She is victim of acid attack and she never filed FIR against the person who attacked her. The only reason was the family pressure. There was a lack of support. The perpetrator was her sister's brother-in-law. So just to save her sister's married life, she never filed a case. Another case is of Madhu, where a stalker was rejecting his proposal. Uh, a stalker's proposal she rejected, and then after that she never filed an FIR. She just told their relatives, their family just told their relatives and other people that she was burned with just stove burn. Similarly, there are countless cases like Garima, I know, and I must say there some kind of our criminal justice system is not victim friendly. There is comfortable environment is not provided, and there is lack of awareness of laws. That's why acid attacks are still happening everywhere. I will say when during this COVID time when lockdown is there was there, we were not able to buy our daily usable things, but acid was selling like anything. A woman in Patiala was attacked with acid. The reason was she was giving birth. She has given birth to two girls. See, giving birth to girls also become a such kind of a reason for acid attack. So there are so many laws, there are so many policies which are in favor of women. Well, I am part of the Lakshmi Foundation as a co-founder of the Lakshmi Foundation or vice president. But when I want to share my story that I was pursuing PhD, I was pursuing research on acid attack. When I felt that the policies, the laws, the support being provided by the government or other agencies are not sufficient. That's why I thought of making an NGO for acid attack survivors. We are working for the ban of the sale of the acid. We are creating awareness regarding such hazardous effects of acid attack. We are trying to rehabilitate the acid attack survivors. We have made some projects. We are working on some projects. After this session, after my session, there is another speaker, Madam Jyoti ji. I'm sure she will discuss about some of our projects like Mitti handprints and our shelter homes. So the thing is, acid attack is such a like a serious crime, very heinous crime, which is based on gender inequality. So I will say education, which is the best key to stop any kind of violence. So we need to sensitize the young boys and young girls. जब बच्चा पैदा होता है वो पैदा ही क्रिमिनल नहीं होता. We need to teach them how to become a good person. Awakening of human rights should be by word of education system. Besides this, the approach of judiciary while dealing with such cases should be similar to rape. And I think awareness regarding skin donation should also be there, because when acid attack happens, skin is burned. So we should think about some kind of skin donation, which should also be part of rehabilitation, and government should take such steps. The criminal justice system, it really needs to be strictly amended, especially in the cases of handling of acid attacks cases. Acid sale should be strictly controlled. So in the end, I would just like to say that we should think as a pro victim. It is really important to understand what a victim goes through and how we can support them. And it is only possible if we think like a pro victim. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak on this platform. I hope I have shared much so that which would be helpful for some people.
Thank you so much, Naprit ma'am. Thanks a lot. I was having reserve your introduction because our participants may come to know that how closely this very topic is of your heart, how much practically you have been worked on this, with how many people, with how many acid attack survivors you have been met, and so now this is my pleasure to introduce because I was having reserved your introduction because our participants may come to know that how practically you have actually have been worked with your data, right? So as you said that you know this victimization of these females, that is of 70 to 80%. So this exactly shows that being a researcher, being a lawyer, being a social activist, being a trainer, being a and most prominently, I would like to say that you as a co-founder of the Lakshmi Foundation, as a vice president, and as a vice president, you have really been worked a lot for the rehabilitation of the acid victims. So there is not much to say about you because you're practically handling the cases, you're practically looking forward the rehabilitation, you are providing the social support, you are providing the moral support, right? And moreover, you are also being writing many articles, many notes in the media, that so that the people maybe get sensitized, and this very means it can be stopped. You have even been worked a lot for stop sale acid, and for making the pro victim things. You have been worked even for for the social sensitization of the people in the field. So how practically we can do this? You have been told very in a very significant way, we can say, right? And this is what we have actually to learn, that how we can stop this menace, this social menace, and how we can make the life of those survivors who have been actually been facing this very problem in our society. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your address. Thanks a lot. Now we have a question answered on. Actually, the time itself is gone. But if any of the participants do have any questions, you can raise your questions, please. Any of the participants, they can unmute themselves and they can put your questions. So I think there is no question. Everybody have been got understood that how we have to
Please give me
sensitize.
just 30 seconds. I would like to say that there are so many students. I just want to say that while you are pursuing your research, when you are doing your research, please live with your research. Try to feel them, feel that thing. Do research because we are from legal background. So we should do some kind of social legal research so that which should be helpful for others in future. And always think like pro victim, I would say. Thank you so much.
Very good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, we have a question. Yeah, please.
Myself, Amita Verma. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm curious to know about skin donation, ma'am.
Yes. As I said, skin donation is very important aspect. I will not go in detail because it is a medical aspect. We are working on it to create awareness. This is a from this platform. This is the best platform. I think we should share that we should donate the skin for helping acid attack survivors. It is very easy process, as I already told that during the effect of acid attack, first is to burn the skin. When the skin is burned, it becomes so difficult for survivors to survive. And when such kind of when surgeries are done, they remove the skin from other parts. Like if my face is burned, the doctors will remove skin from my hand or my back part, which become difficult to heal, which is very difficult to heal on time, especially in summers. The acid attack survivors complain that they are feeling so much itching and their skin is not recovering. So it is like on one part acid is thrown, on another part skin is removed. How can we avoid such kind of things? We should go for skin donation. In our country, there are very few people who are aware of skin donation. Hardly 40 to 50% donate skin. Skin donation is a very easy process. It is done after the death of a person. Skin is removed from the body of a dead person. And it is, I would suggest to the National Commission for Women and even the Dr. Ambedkar University to organize donation related conferences as well, so that people should know that such kind of things are very easy. When the dead person, when the skin from a dead person is removed, only one layer is removed, very thin layer is removed from the body, and it it is just like even वहां से blood भी नहीं आता है इतना. So and it is just hardly 5 to 8 minutes. It takes hardly 5 to 8 minutes to remove the skin from a body, and it is preserved, stored, and it any kind of skin can be applied to any other person. There is nothing like you need to match the DNA or blood or something like that. It is a very easy process, and I would suggest to all the organization to create awareness regarding this also. A very good question, Dr. Amita. Anything else you want to ask, please?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay.
So you are not audible.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible now? Yeah. So if any other participant do have any question, they can raise their question, please.
Good afternoon, Dr. Amit Guleria, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Very good afternoon.
This is Dr. Divya Sharma. Good afternoon, Veena ma'am. Hi, Dr. Navneet. How are you?
Good to see you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And Navneet, you have recognized me. I think if you're not forgotten.
Yes.
Good to see you at this place. Really appreciable. Just one question to you from my side is that what do you think that the law must bring in itself the changes to stop the acid attack? But I don't think so. The punishment given under the IPC is sufficient. So, what suggestion you give to the legislature to bring a remarkable change in the field of the law?
See, first thing is that laws are there. They are stringent laws are there. Creating awareness of laws are more important. Accepting the laws are more important than changing the law. Here I would say. See, there are up to 10 years or life imprisonment punishment there. What else they could do? They could give the death penalty. What happened after the giving assassination to this in the case of Nirbhaya? What was the thing? उसको publicly show किया गया. There we need to create a deterrent effect of the law in the society. See, up to like life imprisonment is there, death penalty is there, so many things are there. So we need to create awareness. We need to show that the laws actually works. And when see एसिड अटैक केसेस में ज्यादातर क्या होता है, अटैक हो गया, इम्प्रिजनमेंट हो गई, थोड़ी देर के बाद बेल हो गई. व्हाई वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग बेल? Such kind of things should be stopped. We should never provide bail to such kind of perpetrators. Secondly, moving further, like when such attack happen, we should give punishment as soon as possible. Fast track courts should be there. There are very few cases which are fast track. Like in Srinagar, I really appreciate the Srinagar comment. This is, I guess, first case in which the fast track court is taking action. But what happened in the case of Lakshmi? She filed a case in 2006, and decision came in 2013 only because of the effect of Nirbhaya. Otherwise अभी तक वो केस चलता ही रहता, अभी तक वो पेंडिंग ही रहता. I would not suggest कि punishment change करो. I would suggest like create awareness about the laws, and there should be fast track courts. Further, जो perpetrator है उसको बेल ना हो, और जब उसको स्ट्रिक्ट पनिशमेंट मिलती है, लाइक हमारे यहाँ पे जो निर्भया के केस में पनिशमेंट हुई थी, उसके बारे में देयर शुड बी अवेयरनेस, क्रिएटेड अवेयरनेस दैट इस पर्सन को डेथ पेनल्टी दी गई है. व्हेन वी आर लाइक एसिड अटैक में हम लक्ष्मी की पिक्चर लगाते हैं पोस्टर में, लाइक शी इज एन एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर, क्यों नहीं हम उस पर्सन की जिसने अटैक किया है उसकी पिक्चर हम क्यों नहीं लगाते हैं? व्हाई सो? सो laws are fine, but implementation of laws should also be there.
Thank you, Dr. Navpreet. Amit sir, you're not audible.
Ma'am, just see, is it audible now?
No, yes, it's audible.
Yeah. So thank you, Navpreet ma'am. You have been, addressed the questions of our participants very efficiently. And if any of the participants do have any other questions, so they can mail us. We have send the email address, right, with the brochure. So you can put your questions over there. Fine. Thanks a lot, Navpreet ma'am, for your kind address. I would also like to express my heartfelt thanks to M.E. Upadhyay ma'am, the resource person of this very session. I would also like to express my heartfelt thanks to Anayana Shahasrabuddhe ma'am for your time and very kind and enlightened address in this very technical session. So now the time is also going to happen for the next technical session. And in this very technical session, we do have Dr. Jyoti Chuthaiwala ma'am. She is the scientist, educationist, and the social worker. And the second resource person in this session, technical session, which is entitled as a rehabilitation of the victims of acid attacks, is Shrimati Preeti Bhardwaj Dalalji. She is the vice chairperson of the State Commission for the Women, Haryana. So we actually, there was a time for a break for 15 minutes, but the time is going to happen. So just let me make it sure whether Jyoti ma'am has joined or not, and then we'll start this very session. Just a minute only.
नमस्ते विनय मैम. नमस्ते अमित जी.
Am I audible? Namaste ma'am. Namaste. Yes ma'am. You're audible ma'am.
Is my presentation, can you see my presentation?
Yes ma'am. Your PPT is there, but before starting, let me just introduce myself. Actually, we do have, yes ma'am. We have Dr. Jyoti Chuthaiwala ma'am. Ma'am is the scientist, educationist, and social worker, as I told you just before. Ma'am is a PhD in biochemistry from NCL Pune, postdoc research at NIH US, published various research articles, research papers in the peer-reviewed international journals. She has an experience of 12 years in the Ahmedabad International School. She has been associated with various social activities relating to the women empowerment for last 20 years. Ma'am is a member of the National Executive Committee of the Bharatiya Stri Shakti, and she is also the part of core group of the women of National Human Rights Commission, and she has also been worked a lot for the institutional building and support scheme for the Ram Bhau Maghari Prabodhini Mumbai, and has been a resource person even in Prakash Perf counseling sessions which are being conducted by the NCPCR, and she is working as a member of Bharati Stri Shakti, and she has been worked on various projects, especially on the tackling various kinds of violence against the women with Ministry of the Women and the Child Development. So, ma'am has been especially been worked on tackling these kind of problems which are actually faced by women and the children, especially ma'am, has been contributed a lot in this field. So, ma'am, I welcome you in this technical session, and now I would like to invite you for your address.
Thank you, Amit ji. Thank you, Amit sir. Thank you, Vinna madam. And thank you, Baba Saheb Ambedkar National Law University, Sonepat. So today's topic is rehabilitation of victims of acid attacks. And this is a part of new phase of gender-based violence. Let me start the story with few pictures. When we visited Shiro's cafe, especially Lakshmi ji, which was as a part of our project tackling violence against women. And it was a wonderful experience. This was in 2017. And then Lakshmi ji also was part of, she was as a speaker for our Adhiveshan National Conference of Bharatiya Stri Shakti at Nagpur in the year 2018. और उन्होंने महिलाओं के प्रति हिंसा तथा महिला सुरक्षा के बारे में अपने विचार प्रस्तुत किए थे. And I'm just going to start something differently. This I'm talking about when I visited to Shiro's as a part of project, when I interacted with Lakshmi. It was such a wonderful experience. And I was about to write a report. It is not just a report about facts and figures I could write, or it was not just a sharing on my NGO group, or it was not sharing something on my Facebook. But whatever I wrote, it was like it came from the bottom of my heart. And I would like to start my talk with that experience. You can say awareness or sensitivity, which I could spread to my friends from Bharatiya Stri Shakti, on our groups, those who visited with me, also those who attended our national conference in 2018. So the story of the sensitization awareness about acid attack survivors, especially our bonding with Lakshmi ji, especially the listening to Lakshmi ji's experiences and her work. You won't believe, when I started preparing for my talk yesterday, I just went through my blog and I couldn't resist myself calling Lakshmi ji. And then she introduced me to Navpreet ji, and it was a nice bonding. So I just would like to read a few lines from my blog, because I cannot just say that experience again without referring or reading to my blog. While performing experiments in the lab, minute drops of acid used to burn my clothes or skin. It is very painful to know that such a strong chemical acid having burning effects is used with malicious intentions as weapon to attack, that too mainly for women. Acid burns are not only on their bodies, but the hurt is in their head and mind. Physical, social and emotional traumas these women are going through raised many questions for their families, society and policymakers. They came up with an idea of Shiro's Cafe Hangout to bring back survivors' confidence and their respectful status in the family and society. Cafe runs on pay-as-you-wish basis, emphasizing more on interaction with the survivors. It is run to create awareness about this heinous crime, plight of these women, importantly to bring them in mainstream society with respect and dignity. Visiting beautiful women, these acid attack survivors, running Shiro's hangout in the land of beautiful Taj Agra, redefined the concept of beauty and emphasized again the victory of inner beauty over outer beauty. Removing the scarves used to hide their so-called inauspicious faces is the step towards being bold to face the world and assert their identity to command inclusiveness. The stories of these women living with dignity are the examples of if there is a will, there is a way to empower yourself. Lakshmiji, the activist, TV anchor, the lady with the courage, confidence, and with the burning desire to tackle the cause and effect of this heinous crime, is the inspiration for all of us. And these were my words, which came out of this very emotional experience, and to see the what they were going through, they have gone through, and now what they are. So it's a story of courage. As we know, all these eminent speakers talked about acid attack, vitriol attack, or vitriolage. Acid attack is a thoughtful attack. It is used as weapon and to trouble someone, especially women. And these survivors go through lots of turmoils and turbulences. We know the first attack happens, then they go through trauma, and the traumatic condition is accepting themselves, the self-acceptance or the identity crisis. Then they go through the different treatments. Then the problem comes how their family, friends, and society will accept. They have to go through legal procedure, cosmetic surgeries, accepting and reviving or getting rehabilitated or rejuvenation. Now, in an article written by Soumya Kalia in the Swaddle in the year 2021, she talks about beyond compensation. So for these acid attack survivors, an attack isn't limited to this crime itself, but it goes beyond that. That is access to justice, rehabilitation in society, regaining their identity, social acceptance. So the notion of just compensation must expand. She tells us it should expand to include the nuanced and compassionate understanding of rehabilitation. So that's how the story starts with the complexity of rehabilitation. And she tells about physical, emotional rehabilitation, social welfare, and how to create job opportunities to survivors and their medical treatment for the surgeries. And as all of us, we know, we heard, we read, we have listened to that emotional rehabilitation is not just a simple 1 or 2 months procedure. It's a long term, and all of us, family and society, has to support their emotional rehabilitation because their social isolation and exclusion hinders the rehabilitation. So they need social support, they need family support and support from NGOs like us. As World Health Organization defines, rehabilitation is a set of interventions designed to optimize functioning and reduce disability in individuals with health conditions in interaction with their environment. So we have to optimize functioning and reduce their disability. As we know, physical, psychological, occupational, social, and different agencies are involved. We heard a lot about government agency, medical and legal, and family and society, and NGOs like us are play very important role in this. Now, as we know, in 2016, the Rights of Persons with Disability Bill was revised, and now acid attack survivors are included in it. And it says the persons with disabilities should enjoy their rights equally with others. And they talk about inclusive education and reservations in vacancies too. So what does actually disability of these acid attack survivors means, or what is the term disability means? The term disability is used to refer the restrictions caused by society when it does not give equivalent attention and accommodation to the needs of individuals and impairments. So here we know the restrictions and what attention and accommodation we should give. We should focus on their needs. We should accommodate them, and that is very important for the rehabilitation. As we all of us know, and which is also our NGOs, Bharatiya Stree Shakti's four important verticals, what we call as Panchasutri. These are 5 important factors, and rehabilitation is associated with that too. That is physical and mental health, education and skill development, and their economic independence, which will boost their self-esteem. When it comes to gender equality, now I heard everyone talking about patriarchy and complexity. So I just would like to mention the word in intersectionality, women and disability here. As those all of us, we are studying about women, about feminism. The intersectionality means the oppression and discrimination resulting from the overlap of an individual's various social identities. So here in this case, when we are talking about gender-based violence or acid attack survivor women, the first thing is they are women. Second is they are disabled. So disability intersects with gender as well as age, caste, poverty. So other factors will also make it more complex, and they will have negative outcomes in case of education, employment, income for all the people with disabilities. So this is where we need to understand the whole thing is very complex, and rehabilitation also is not as simple as the word is, and it's a very complex long-term process, and it's not about the individual but the family and society also. All of us, we know the psychological effects, the frustration, nightmares, despair, lack of self-assurance, self-confidence, feeling of worthlessness, feeling of abandonment. Then it also affects financial, because as it is, first you are spending a lot of money with surgery, skin grafting, medication. Also, because of this acid attack, person may have physical disability, and which may interfere in at his workplace. So maybe these few people are unable to cope up with their job also. And importantly, the mindset is that the people are hesitant to hire them. Though they show sympathy or empathy, but they are hesitant to hire them because of this social exclusion, the appearance. So the victims are socially outcasted. And here is not one way. It could be by the society or family as well as by their self. So the social exclusion is either by society or by self. They are forced to give up their education, occupation. So it's very complex. And we know about social aspect. Let me move further. So here I want to just give you a few examples or success stories about rehabilitation. Most of us, we know, just whatever I have read through or whatever I have seen, whatever I have interacted. The first is that these survivors like Lakshmi turned into saviors. This is a very important step in the rehabilitation. Then different NGOs like CHAW, the Lakshmi Foundation. During pandemic days, CHAW started an online gift story. They had their skill development program, and these women and girls, they used to create some craft material and they used to sell through online platform. Very important aspect or the very famous thing how media can play awareness in this social issue is Chapak movie. Then also I'll give you how the Maharashtra State Commission for Women had implemented a few programs for rehabilitation of acid attack survivors. And many NGOs, they have art exhibition, this art created by these people. Or I have been through an exhibition of painting where Lakshmi ji invited me, and this was about a painter who who created many paintings related to the acid attack survivors. Then different skill developments, and importantly, because which is I'm very close to, is story of Lakshmi. Now these survivors turned into saviors. Their determination and resilience are the elements, and without which they cannot succeed. And they have to come forward and believe in themselves with courage, self-respect, and equanimity. We know the examples along with Lakshmi ji, Reshma Qureshi. They made their lives stronger, breaking the cycle of humiliation, perception about acid attack survivors. And these are the heroines and warriors. They have empowered themselves and they are empowering others also. And they are raising the voice against violators, and they are acting as influencers, and all of them, they have created their own NGOs also, and they are taking this work of helping acid attack survivors further through their NGOs. Chapak movie by Meghna Guljar and Atika Chauhan presented this acid attack survivor issue very seriously to spread the awareness through this medium. And also it showed the hidden life of these women, and it brought it to spotlight, and how you can reclaim your identity, and how they have to fight for the needs and the survival, and what is their determination, and what the psyche of that woman, what the turmoil they go through. It is nicely shown in this movie Chapak. About few years ago, under the leadership of Vijay Radkarji, Maharashtra State Commission for Women, they conducted many programs for these acid attack survivors in Maharashtra. 9 brave men and women who survived brutal attacks, they were given the jobs, and helping the survivors find employment was the first course of action. Also, they conducted confidence walk, and very importantly, for the complicated surgeries or for other types of rehabilitation, they were contacting the many corporates or the sponsors through their CSR. Now, the story of rehabilitation or story of acid attack survivors, the main heroine and the fighter and the warrior is Lakshmi ji. And I'm very fortunate that I have interacted with her many times. And just a day ago, the way she talked to me and she shared few experiences and she introduced me to Navpreet ji. All of us, we know that she has her NGO, the Lakshmi Foundation, and Lakshmi ji and Navpreet ji are the leaders for that. All of you know that for the to stop the acid cell, she submitted the PIL in 2006, and 2013 ban was declared on the acid cell, and in 2019 the Lakshmi Foundation came into picture. And they had this NGO, they had panel discussion about Beyond the Scars. They have also started shelter home for acid attack survivors. It's a very wonderful idea, like one-stop center. They have all facilities in that shelter home, and they are skill developing these women, and they had this Mitti handprint exhibition. So what all we can do? The first thing is Lakshmi, the activist, the lady with the courage, confidence, and with the burning desire to tackle the cause of this cause and the effect of this heinous crime, is the inspiration for all of us. Taking inspiration from her, let's get together, let's join hands to spread the awareness, sensitization. We can do through the conferences and workshops like this, also through the research, and we can give recommendation to policymakers. So thank you Dr. Vinay Kapoorji, thank you BRANLU University, thank you Dr. Amit ji, and I wish to thank my NGO Bharati Stri Shakti and my seniors and friends for making me aware and sensitized about such issues. And special thanks to Lakshmi ji and Navpreet ji, and thank you all of you for patiently listening my few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have been nicely, by your presentation, addressed this very concept, which actually is a grave problem in Indian society, Though in many other countries, even the problem is grave. Like Naprit ma'am has already mentioned that Bangladesh is the first country who's been having the mass record of acid attacks. So you have been also been mentioned on the role of media, especially have been exemplified what kind of role is being there in Shapakpur. So we have to get sensitized. We have to get aware, and the policymakers should take care of all this. That how we can stop this grave problem, which is actually existing in the society. So thanks a lot. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much. So now, last but not the least, we have our next resource person with us, Ma'am Preeti Bhardwaj Dalalji. Ma'am is the Vice Chairperson, Haryana State Commission for Women. Ma'am is working very efficiently as the Vice Chairperson of the State Commission for Women. She is being, appointed as a government council on specific and significant matters of issues relating to the income tax, appellate tribunal, and the high courts. She has an excellent and outstanding academic records. She has been awarded with first ever M.K. Gandhi National Law Teaching Fellowship instituted by the National Law School of India, University, Bengaluru, and selected as a Blue Ribbon panel. She is a topper of Political Science Honors, Kamala Nehru College, University of Delhi. She has been first rank holder in the Diploma Labor Laws, Indian Law Institute, New Delhi. Ma'am is the gold medalist and the highest CGPA holder of the batch of 2004 LLM, National Law School of India, University, Bengaluru. She has been remarkable, having remarkable publications in the journals of national and international repute. She has been recommended especially on the issues relating to the honor killing, sexual harassment of women at the workplace, and many more things. Ma'am has been contributed a lot for the upliftment of the women, and she has been worked like movements in like Me Too movement, Mahila Police Thanas, for Mahila Police Thanas. She has been worked a lot for reforming the conditions of the female inmates in Haryana prisons. She has been worked a lot for for the rape victims, the victims of the sexual harassment. She has been worked even for a Maternity Benefit Act 2017 for making any kind of legal provisions and the amendments in all these very laws. Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2018, she has been also contributed for the same. So there are many things which are being in the credit of our resource person, Madam Preeti Bhardwaj Dalalji. So, ma'am, now the mic is yours for your address, please. Welcome, ma'am.
Well, namaskar. Can you hear me all?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amit, for the introduction, though it is not that great, but however, you have made it very flowery. Thank you so much for that. That shows how a true law professor can make difference. Anyway, so my greetings to the VC, Madam, Madam Vinay Kapoor ji, to National Commission for Women, Madam Rekha Sharma ji, who was there in the inaugural session. In the technical session, as well as in the inaugural session, the esteemed guests, the participants, my dear students, teachers, academic research staff, everybody, greetings of the day. This is technical session 2, and I wish my co-resource person, Jyoti ji, thank you so much for accommodating me, because I was supposed to be speaking before. However, I've just run from Chandigarh University, and I'm here before you. Thank you so much, Jyoti ji. Personally, I want to put it on record. So I think जब किसी को last बार बोलने की last time means when the person has to speak last, so everything is being spoken. So you are so wise enough, and whatever you know is already been spoken by the experts in the field. So actually that has happened. However, I'll try however best I can put forward and try to justify my role as a resource person here. So I think it must have been discussed that अभी तक एनसीआरबी के जो आंकड़े आए हैं, so 2000 से ज़्यादा acid attack victims they have been reported in the last 6 to 7 years. And उसमें अगर आप देखेंगे तो 250 cases acid attack के every day roughly आते हैं per day. सो जब आप रीजन वाइज बात करते हैं तो उसमें नॉर्थ इंडिया, बिकॉज हमारा नॉर्थ इंडिया में वेबिनार हो रहा है, 58% ऑफ द केसेस ऑफ अटैक वायलेंस आर देयर दैट कम्स फ्रॉम नॉर्थ इंडिया ओनली. So when we talk about acid violence, it impacts, as Jyoti ji said, other people have said, it's beyond, the impact is beyond economic trauma. Physical trauma is the trauma, and you have to undergo, psychological trauma, and it really hurts the self-esteem, because mostly the cases are के the love, jealousy, hate, तू मेरी नहीं हुई तो मैं किसी और का भी नहीं होने दूंगा kind of mentality that happens. As Jyoti ji also discussed a lot about Lakshmi and the work which she is doing. I happened to meet Lakshmi a few months back, and we had a heart-to-heart discussion. I just saw her as Jyoti ji was telling that she's been doing this, she's been role model, she has done this, the case law that pertains to her name also, and how her case has brought about dynamic changes, and that has impacted the law in India as such. So when you see her, she is just a very fragile little girl, and with so much of femininity exuding from her, you feel so sad that with so many scars, if she can look so beautiful, then how beautiful she must have been. So I'm not talking only about the outer beauty and the scars with which she's presenting herself. I'm talking about the inside beauty which she still carries with herself. We happened to be there for 2 days in Goa for the 66th Liberation Day of Goa government. So she was one of the resource persons, and how she explained that how she can be of put forward the cause for acid attack violence victims in the state of Haryana, and we being a government body, how best support we can have it. So, nevertheless, that is a recollection that has come to our mind. When we're talking about acid attacks, so we see there are lifelong repercussions are there, and which are very, very difficult to ignore. And that is why so many social activists, people like you, like us, and across the nations, they feel very compelled to act. And this has led to the birth of numerous institutions, numerous NGOs that have helped women take control of their lives again. अगर आप करंट सिनेरियो की बात करेंगे, so the focus is on helping women after the attack. That is rehabilitation that can happen. However, I really feel that the issue needs a more holistic kind of an approach, one that directs its efforts at changing the mindset. That is important. जब हमारे तक भी मानसिकता चेंज नहीं होगी, it will not be possible, and we have to really demand more stringent laws and rehabilitating the survivors effectively. That is more important. We have the policies for rehabilitation, but that has to be implemented effectively. So, and that's, as I said before, बहुत सारी NGOs इस मुद्दे पर काम कर रही हैं. So when we look at the judiciary, I think in the previous sessions, people must have talked about a lot of case laws, the social legal implications, and other things. So we just find that the apex court, that the Supreme Court of India, it has consistently, it has held that the state, that is the Republic of India, it has an obligation towards acid attack survivors, and it has given an elaborate number of judgments, and the major judgment was on the compensation to be provided. But the principles, sadly, of equality and dignity, they are rarely realized in practice, as we'll be discussing. And their right to seek monetary compensation, and they should also be recognized as persons with disabilities. That is important. So वो कितना तक possible हो पाया है, judgments आ गई हैं, and there are notifications to that effect from the ministries and so on and so forth. So when Lakshmi was the case was there, Lakshmi versus Union of India, Supreme Court ने बहुत सारे multiple orders they passed to prevent the acid attacks, and they wanted that there should be welfare of survivors. So, and we really found when you just read the judgment, the court was highly critical about the compensation scheme at that time. And it also noted that there was a need for uniform, adequate, and proportionate compensation, and that was mandated कि 3 लाख रुपए मिलने चाहिए कि एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर को विद इन द डिफाइंड टाइम पीरियड्स, और जो अमाउंट होना चाहिए दैट शुड बी इर्रेस्पेक्टिव के परपेट्रेटर को वो उसको गिल्टी हुआ है या ही इज नॉट बीन फाउंड गिल्टी. That is one of the questions, because till date only 5% of the victims have been perpetrators, they have been found guilty. So this is also one of the things which we really need to consider and ponder about. So District Legal Services Authority, it has been designated as a body in charge for processing the applications of compensation and overseeing the scheme, and so on and so forth. Then all the hospitals, public or private, they have to provide the free treatment to the acid attack survivors, and it requires also the state government to enforce the right to free health care in the private hospitals also. So this is important. So then I would just also want to really talk about there is this Rights of Person with Disability Act 2016. So that says that disability from the sociological perspective, when you see, rather than the medical one, it recognizes acid attack victims as person with specified disability and allows the survivors to get the disability certificate मिलता है अगर 40 या 40% से ज़्यादा होता है, disfigurement and so on and so forth. Then Vikash Kumar judgment was there where private sector was involved, the hospitals and so on and so forth. Now, however, despite all these judgments of Supreme Court, implementation is still a huge problem. And until when we say the law has been made, asset की sale नहीं होनी चाहिए, उसकी sale regulate होनी चाहिए. So that is not happening. That is not happening at any level at all. I would just like to quote, because being the part and parcel of a government body in the state of Haryana, we have been putting letters before the Ministry of Labour in Haryana. We have been calling Labour Ministry and other departments to at least make some kind of regulatory or maybe some stringent measures where the sale is regulated. तो उसमें आई कार्ड के बारे में बताया हुआ है, आई कार्ड होना चाहिए और तभी आपको एक एसिड का आपको बॉटल मिलेगा. So here I am divulging it to you before you guys for the first time. So 3-4 months back we had a webinar that was a national level webinar, and 2 Supreme Court honorable justices were there. Both were ladies. It was a day-long webinar, and I also happened to be a resource person there. And a lot of things happened. We discussed about it. We discussed the figures and so on and so forth. I was very happy to really talk about that. In last 4 years, Haryana has 4 to 5, acid attack cases. Haryana being known as crude sexual, so on and so forth, crime and so on and so forth. That gives me a lot of, border kind of a feeling of satisfaction. No, our state is still better than the other ones. So very shortly after that, and within a month, when I was just looking at, there was this cases which we were hearing. So you could just find there was a lady who just wrote in her complaint, the subject was my husband threatening me with the acid attack and suicide. Suicide उसने already commit करने की कोशिश किया, and this was the kind of violence he was just trying to play with her mentally. And he has the audacity because उसने एक बार अगर suicide करने की कोशिश की है, and when he has been threatening her of acid attack to his own wife जिससे उसके साथ नहीं बन रही है. So these kind of cases also we just saw. We just heard this case, and this man was there, and we asked him, guy, why are you doing that? So he was like, he said, ma'am, I will explain it to you why I will throw acid on her. So they have proper reasons. Could you just read we had literally counseled him, and we had put it before the District Legal Services Authority. And since the case is still pending with the commission, but our effort was to really counsel him. So we just showed him, the Harpic thing and thoda sa dal ke, that how the even the smell can really make such impact the whole office as well. And you are just considering putting it in your wife's face. So what is more important is you really have to sensitize the people who are really contemplating you know so this is the worst form of violence one can have it on. So when we talk about organizations, the previous speaker, madam, she talked about this very important organization, two, three, I would just like to name. That is Kanoria Foundation. That is Acid Attack Survivors and Women Welfare Foundation. It has been run by Kanoria Foundation. Then is Meer Foundation by our very own, King Khan, that is Shahrukh Khan. And Chaya Foundation is there, and the rehabilitation and other schemes, they are being basically implemented. This is the duty of national legal services authority, and then coming from the district legal service authority, state legal service authority, उन्हीं की basically responsibility रहती है as far as the government setup is concerned. So when you talk about all these pan-India organizations, they basically help the acid attack survivors. They reintegrate into the society and collaborate with the like-minded institution to fight against the victims. So on their part, they'll meet the survivors. एक ही नहीं है. So Lakshmi is just one example. When we are talking about foundations like these, when we are talking about individually, they have helped rehabilitate not one, two, three, four, but पर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन 70 to 80 एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर्स. तो अगर हम कह रहे हैं कि पिछले अगर 5-7 साल में अगर हम रफली लेके चलते हैं 2000 केसेस हैं, तो 500-700 तो इन्होंने ही निपटा दिए जब आप रिहेबिलिटेशन. तो जस्ट सी व्हाट इज द इम्पैक्ट एंड द मैग्नीट्यूड विद द सिविल सोसाइटी and the NGOs, the role which they are playing in rehabilitating, in putting up the causes, making forward that the victims, who are now the survivors, they are living their lives and living it in a better way. So they financially, they help them out. They are taking care of their medical treatment in specialized hospitals, and they organize free surgeries for them, medical camps, with the organizations. Then these foundations, they also help in the educational institutions like universities, and support their education as well, their children's education as well. So there are few survivors who pursue in university. I personally know them, Satyabama University जो चेन्नई की है. So they have been financially assisting the children's education. So additionally, they also, when we see, they help them in legal guidance in filing of the cases against the acid attack preparators, with the help of the partners and maybe the law firms and organizations which are working. Then a very important thing which I just really want to put it before you and just share it with you, that organizations, NGOs have a very important role, and some of them are really doing such wonderful initiatives they are taking up. They're promoting skin drives. So when you say skin drives means वहाँ पर skin ही तो है जो जलती है, skin ही तो है वो खराब होती है. अब उसको graft करने के लिए कौन आएगा? Graft करने के लिए they want that people to donate, people who are dead. So skin grafts, they are very urgently required for the victims of acid attack violence and to minimize the impact and the injury to the victims. So they pursue the donors to pledge their skin, and the family members, they're honoring their pledge after their death. So what happens is that you can donate a skin within 6 hours from the time of the death. So anybody can donate skin irrespective of your sex, irrespective of your blood group of the donor, and the minimum age has to be 18 years. So हम लोग eye donation की बात करते हैं. So skin donation is one of the things that can also be initiated not only by these few organizations, but maybe that this can be a thought to be, when we are talking about so much of sensitization is happening. So a skin is something that really they need. Yes. So then we really need to also talk about the ecosystem for the survivors. That is, the psycho, social rehabilitation centers which need to provide holistic care, and acid attack survivors. It is very much required. That's how I feel. So, because the counseling center, they had to regain their confidence, and it really helps them to bring into the mainstream with the help of these experts and the specialists. As it was talked about, there was this movie, Deepika Padukonka, and how she worked, and so on and so forth. Ati Jeevan Foundation is there. Then, but this is all about women. Right. I would now want to talk about the male victims. The male victims, which are the part of the larger untold story of acid attack survivors in India. Nobody has talked about them. There is a man, he's attacked for not for as per common understanding that he's a rejected or a disgruntled lover कि भैया उसकी वो छोड़ के चली गई and so on and so forth. But he may be a victim of a hate crime कि भाई पड़ोसी से लड़ाई हो गई. So there was this guy who was trying to, कि उसका जो लैंडलॉर्ड था उनकी बेटी के साथ उनका बेटा जो है एक लड़की के साथ ही was trying to molest her. He stopped and the son of the landlord he said मैं तेरे को कहीं का नहीं छोड़ूंगा and he said openly and one fine day he comes and he throw a bucket of acid on his face. A man throws acid on a man. So when we talk about acid attacks, they are often seen as crime against women. And also when we see Justice Verma Committee, the report by the Law Commission, we know that acid attacks are usually form of gender-based violence and increasing number, I would say, that are men also. So when you see again in the newspapers and in 2000 after 2013 judgment, the Supreme Court ruled that जो अभी हमने जो शेयर किया rehabilitation care होना चाहिए 3 लाख रुपए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को compensation देना चाहिए. But any victim compensation scheme, I believe, in existence then and brought into effect post that ruling, it would comply with the said order. So what happens is that this guy who was this domestic dispute का इसको जो professional rivalry रही 40% of the cases of burns acid attack that pertains to men. So are they found they're finding any place in any webinars or are we only talking about women? Though women they are the important part of it, but I think we are missing on the other side as well. When the law says laws is gender neutral, but the authorities, the government, they only think that it is all about women. They are only the victims. They are only who can be attacked with acid. Now, the Supreme Court, in a very encouraging turn of events, it said that it will look into the alleged discrimination of the case which I have just mentioned, that 30 to 40% of such attacks, there is a discrimination against men is happening. So it has sent notices to center government as well as the state government. So it is actually a moment of glory when the Supreme Court said that not only that only women can fall prey into it. So discrimination against male victims in the society is also there. So this is one of the things, and basically when you talk about in the law which is gender neutral, which does not talk about anything, uh, men continue to also face discrimination in the sense of getting compensation as well. So here is the other open fields, the loopholes which we really need to work upon and try and implement. And all of us, myself, the resource person, the university, the other resource person, the people from other universities, I think there is a wider dialogue that is required at the present juncture. It is not only confined to women, and let's change the mentality towards that it is only one gender that suffers. Acid attack is a wider problem. The title needs to be changed. One more thing, this is पूर्व जिसको कहते हैं ना आफ्टरनून है इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे की. So there is this terminology called there is the guy who spills a person with an intention who throws object or with acid is known as vitriol. उस आदमी को कहते हैं vitriolage. So basically that person wants to deface or kill, जिसको हम perpetrator कहते आ रहे हैं पूरे webinar में. So we would also want to make sure when we talk about equality, we say that a female who engages in such act is known as a vitrioluse. So, and there are instances throughout which I have just shared it with you, not only in India but abroad and all through. So, when we talk about equality, we talk about gender equality. It has to be equal in every sense. So, this is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words on this very important topic, which is actually a great problem, and you have very well addressed that this is not going to be a problem of one set only, one gender only. Even the males, they are also being victims. But
40%.
Yeah, 40. Okay, fine, that's good. And you have also been mentioned that per year we are getting around 2,000 cases, and these are the cases only which are actually recorded. There might be some cases which are remaining unrecorded.
Yes.
And 250 cases per day we are getting in or on the nation. Fine. So this is looking a great problem. So we have to get sensitized. The people, the only solution that I actually look forward in order to stop this very problem is to sensitize the people, to spread the education, to train the students at the school level, because most of the times it looks that youngsters, they are being getting more involved in such kind of attacks. Even
I would just like to Dr. Valeria.
Yes,
the commission has conducted empirical study that was 3 months back, and we wanted to know what is ये एसिड अटैक की जो एसिड होता है उसकी बिक्री के किस प्रकार से हो पाती है, बिकॉज सुप्रीम कोर्ट की स्ट्रिंजेंट गाइडलाइंस हैं जो कि इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो रही. सो वी एज अ गवर्नमेंट बॉडी वी आस्क्ड एंड डिड खुद जाके. सो वी हैव गॉट हिमाचल दैट इज बॉर्डरिंग हरियाणा, we have got Punjab and Haryana itself. So 3-state study it was. We were able to procure, and I'm speaking with a lot of confidence and at a national level webinar here, we were able to procure 80 bottles in 2 hours of a high resolution, so कहते हैं. And we have everything to our effect, because I was just trying to curb my, that maybe it's not required when the study comes out, but this is a relevation I would like to put forward over here, because there could be no better day than the day when we discuss it, because there are worst form of violence that is happening. So it has been happening like जिठानी की दौरानी की आपकी लड़ाई हुई, बीच में बच्चा आया, उसके ऊपर एसिड फेंक दिया, बच्चा मर गया. एसिड आप लेके मुंह में डाल देते हैं, पिलाते हैं आजकल. सो इट इज नॉट ओनली थ्रोन, इट इज बीन गटकाया जाता है, बच्चों के ऊपर फेंका जाता है. सो वर्स्ट फॉर्म ऑफ वायलेंस are being followed. So when we are just talking about the new category emerging crime, it's been happening. So really there is a lot of need to really understand, implement whatever the existing laws are, and to go ahead with the whatever best can be done for people who have like sulfaz is very easily available. किसी भी गांव की किसी भी दुकान पे 10 रुपए की आपको टैबलेट मिल जाती है. And same as with this 30 rupees ka acid, you can go get it anywhere. We have procured it. I can show you the bottles we've got the videos as well. Anyway, thank you.
So we can say that this is not only the drugs and narcotic products which are going to be happening on the border areas. Even acid itself is going to be having a black end. So we have to really think on it, so that this very problem, because if there will be a check on the sale of this illegal or unauthorized sale of acid, so we can stop somehow these kind of problems. And the most important thing is this mindset, change of the mindset. We have to go through for this. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And so we have a little question answers round. If any of the participants want to ask anything, so our resource persons are there. If anybody do have any questions. I think nobody is just unmuting, asking the
Namaskar.
questions. So
Somebody is in right hand
yeah,
up.
somebody is there.
Namaskar. This is Dr. Ritu. I want to ask a question from worthy chairperson HSCW.
Vice Chair.
Okay, but it was mentioned chairperson, ma'am, so I took the same. Actually, ma'am, I wish to know why we wait for the extreme ends like rape, acid attacks, or murders. Why we are not able to listen the ahat. First question regarding to this seminar, and second, I am going beyond the scope of this seminar. Yeah, do you want some clarity?
Yeah, I wanted to know what is this AHAT all about?
आहट मैम जब लड़कियों को छेड़ा जाता है चाहे वो इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल पे या सड़कों पे तो उसके ऊपर एक्शन क्यों नहीं होता है वीमेन सेल के और सेकंड आई एम गोइंग बियॉन्ड द scope of this seminar. I want to simply know whether the disciplinary actions taken against an employee comes the purview under the purview of Haryana State Women Commission or not.
Disciplinary action, yes, indeed. Any kind of disciplinary action, any kind of act, any kind of crime against women, which is social, political, economic, whatever the laws which are meant for women, it comes under the purview of Haryana State Commission for Women Act 2012. One. Two, you have different modes to give your complaint. If you have a disciplinary complaint against any man or anything which is harassing you and making your environment in the place where you work hostile, then obviously you should pursue and get into the internal complaint committee of your institution. Or if that is not working, then there is a local complaint committee is there, which is in every district of the state. So if we have 22 district and say, for example, if you are located in Panipat, so Panipat also has an LCC that is basically headquartered in the DC office of a district. So you can Google it and you can find it out. Else, if you are not really happy with either of them, then you can come to the commission. You can write a complaint addressing it to us, and you can log into our website. Our website is Haryana State Commission for Women, H for Haryana, hscw.in. So you will get all the frequently answered question over there. There is an online mechanism where you can file your complaint. You can mail it to us. There's a WhatsApp number that runs 24/7 where you can file in your complaint and talk to us anytime. So this is, and we hear you out, and our isn't recommendatory body yet. We have the powers of a civil court. Now, too, when you're talking about why women don't get into the action and they get a hurt of it, आप ये बताइए ना किसी के मन में ये बात कहाँ से आएगी? अभी जैसे मैंने आपके साथ एक क्वेश्चन शेयर किया कि एक महिला ने हमारे को कंप्लेन दी, लिखित कंप्लेंट में उसने सब्जेक्ट में यही लिखा कि मेरा पति मुझे एसिड अटैक की धमकी देता है और उसने अपने आप को सुसाइड करने का प्रयास भी किया था. So उसको आहट हुई तभी तो बेचारी डर के मारे हमारे पास आई, and that's why I'm sharing it with you at the national thing. आहट होती है, but the thing is that nobody would comprehend that कि वो इतना तक एक्शन ले जाएगा जिसको वो इतना प्यार करके दिखाता है, उसके साथ प्यार भी करता है या जो भी कुछ चीज है कि वो उसी का फेस डिफेस कर दे. So आहट सभी को होती है, just that के things become murkier and accident कभी कभार ही होता है, but helmet हमारे को हर रोज चलाकर चलना चाहिए. That is what is being expected and this is required. So and it is not only women जिनको आहट होनी चाहिए, आहट लड़कों को भी तो होनी चाहिए ना. जब लड़की is saying no, so that means no. वही साइड में हो, बहुत सारे हिसाब किताब हैं आगे पीछे. So that's how it is required. So it is not only women which you say, but and as we discussed, when you look at the numbers, when you look at the figures, so 40% of men are also the victim of the hate crime, और जिसमें कि acid attack उनके ऊपर भी डाला जाता है. So and in very few of the cases, लखनऊ में हुआ था, एक और जगह भी हुआ था जहाँ पे एक महिला लवर जिसको आप कहते हैं, उसने अपने बॉयफ्रेंड के ऊपर एसिड डाला था, and that is not even an ear bad thing. So things are changing and people are getting aware, but I think defacing somebody, it's the worst form that can happen to any man or any woman. I hope I'm able to justify it.
Yeah, ma'am, little next question please. वीमेन सेल में हम कोई कंप्लेंट करते हैं ईमेल के थ्रू या इन पर्सन जाके भी और उसके ऊपर कोई एक्शन नहीं होता, तो फिर फर्दर हम क्या करें ऐसा कि हमें प्रॉपर जस्टिस मिल सके?
दो चीजें बेटा इसमें. there are two things. Women cell is like your university. If you are studying in a university or college or an institution, every university college has a women cell. If it is not a university or a college, then we have women police thanas. So if you don't want to go over there, if it is not pertaining to sexual harassment of women at workplace, then if there is a molestation or any kind of stuff harassing you, which is happening in open daylight, अगर आपके neighborhood में हो रहा है, तो obviously the first point of contact is महिला पुलिस थाना. You should go there. Second point of contact, say for example, यदि आपका husband है या maybe somebody else, अगर आप domestic setup में रहती हैं या फिर unmarried भी हैं, say for example, and if your parents don't like you और आपके संबंध नहीं है अपने फैमिली से अच्छे, लड़ाई हो जाती है या कुछ भी हो जाता है, then another first point of contact can be, which is there in each district, that is one stop center. तो वन स्टॉप सेंटर हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में होता है, सोनीपत में, पानीपत में, 22 के 22 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एस्टैब्लिश्ड है. यहाँ पर आपको 5 दिन की टेम्परेरी रिहाइश सुविधा मिलती है और आपको लीगल, आपको इमोशनल, साइकोलॉजिकल, ऑल काइंड ऑफ हेल्प यू गेट, एंड इफ देयर इज अ नीड टू बी फॉलोड a case in the court, they also help you out. Now when these things, if you think, then you can come over to the commission as well, personally, phone, email, online complaint, offline complaint, and you can call us as well. So we take up the matter and send it. आपकी complaint के ऊपर हम लोग कार्रवाई करते हैं and then we send it to the concerned district के SP को भेजते हैं. SP जो है वो आपकी जो complaint है वो they will send it across to the concerned पुलिस थाना जहाँ की आपने complaint दी है. Then they will hear it out and see how the matter can be resolved, and then they will send across the report to the commission. And if that also doesn't work, then we call the parties.
मैम अगर कमीशन से भी हेल्प नहीं मिले तो
आप मुझे बताइए कौन सा मैटर है जहाँ पर आपको नहीं हेल्प मिलती. इट काइट बी अ लिटिल बिकॉज हमारे पास जैसे से फॉर एग्जांपल आज आपने कंप्लेन दी, सो से फॉर एग्जांपल सी one should be very idealistic. We speak in such ways. We have to look at the procedure because देखो आपके साथ जो भी कुछ बर्ताव हुआ, and by the time when you have reached the commission, usually people reach the commission at an ultimate stage, जब कुछ भी नहीं हो पा रहा. हमारे पास कोर्ट के केसेस भी चल रहे होते हैं, उसके बाद कोई बताता है हाँ जी कमीशन है, तो then they come to us and write a complaint and so on and so forth. So how can you expect a commission to address on your complaint maybe in 2 days, 3 days or 5 days? Say for example today you will send a complaint to me, so the concerned assistant will file it, will make a action taken report के लिए एक लेटर तैयार किया जाएगा, वो concerned SP के पास भेजा जाएगा, वो concerned थाने में भेजेंगे, उसकी रिपोर्ट आएगी, then we will see and whether the matter requires, and in between your support is also required. It is not like that कि आपने complaint उठा के email कर दी and you expect us that with wings we start working like that. So let's be practical. If you have actually a complaint to really which we can follow it up, so please follow up with the commission. So if you really want कि आपकी complaint पे कार्रवाई हो, तो just regularly follow up with us in our office. So that's what I request you. And if you want personal, this thing is there, so you can just take my number from Mr. India. So we'll get back to you on that.
For sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. On this national level, I don't want to explore anymore. So thank you.
No, you can explore not at national level. At national level only you can explore, but you can explore after this webinar.
Sure.
I don't want to go beyond the scope. I have already gone beyond the scope of this national seminar. The theme was asset attacks, asset attack victims. I have already gone beyond the theme, but I would not go beyond the personal limits. So that's why I would contact you.
I can understand there is lot of आपके अंदर बहुत सारा अंदर द्वंद चल रहा है, कोई issue है which you really think that the commission can help you out, which definitely, but I can assure you whatever is there in our powers and our responsibilities within the 4 corners of law, we'll try to do it. So you can just connect to us. ठीक है बेटा? So that's what I can request you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for addressing the questions. So, and one request I would like to place over here. We actually have our feedback form in the chat box, so kindly participants do the same. And now I would like to invite Professor Nidhu Sood ma'am, the convener of this webinar, for the vote of thanks. So kindly ma'am, just give the vote of thanks to our resource persons of the day, because the time itself is going to happen. Whatever the time limit was, the timestamp has already been passed. So kindly ma'am. The mic is over to you, Neelu ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. I have placed vote of thanks and I have convened many seminars or webinars in the past. But the kind of flow which was maintained in this was really immense, and all the speakers, they came with a mission that they must give something from their side so that something viable comes out. So for all those efforts, I start with my vote of thanks note. First of all, I thank Chief Patron Chancellor, His Highness Shri Bandaru Dattatreya Ji, for giving patronage to academics and social issues from the very platform of DBRA-NLU, Sonepat. I also convey my special thanks to Professor Vinay Kapoor Mehra, Vice Chancellor, DBRA-NLU, a candid personality with a mission to serve academics, society, and the least of the heaven. The university-based compliments for all your inputs, ma'am. Thanks for again giving us direction on this very specific topic. I thank Dr. Amit, Registrar, DBRA-NLU, for all the logistic support in the conduct of this seminar. I place on record my special thanks to all the learned speakers, Shrimati Rekha Sharma, Chairperson NCW, New Delhi, our partners in this seminar as well. Ma'am, you are my personal choice. I really admire you for all the efforts you are doing. I thank Shrimati Sushri Gita Gunde, women's rights activist in absentia. Due to unavoidable reasons, she could not connect, but it would have been a great pleasure listening to you as well, ma'am. I also thank Professor Raka Arya, active professor of NLIU Bhopal, the keynote speaker. Ma'am, you could imbibe your crystal clear views in very subtle but impactful manner. You could very efficiently spellcast your views and raise the associated problems. So thanks for all that keynote address of great relevance. Now, in technical sessions, our elite speakers, Professor M.E. Upadhyay, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Gujarat. Ma'am, you helped identify the underlying basic causes at family level, which was really marvelous. And the causes which lead to this gruesome evil in the society. So, despite your busy schedule, you gave great inputs for the seminar. We are thankful. My special thanks also go to Shrimati Naina Sahasrabuddhe, Vice President Bharatiya Stri Shakti, who emphasized on societal participation in curtailing this problem. So, ma'am, during concept note, I made a mention of Samaj Hut. So, I think we both Telly and all the speakers, they also pointed out towards that the sensitization in the society will help overcome this problem. Dr. Navneet Kaur, Vice President, Lakshmi Foundation, she talked about the journey of relief fought for Lakshmi and many others. So your efforts are commendable. We salute you, Dr. Navpreet, for all the inputs. We'll stand behind your mission. Please keep it up. Dr. Jyoti Chatiwala, who is a sensitive scientist, who paved her way to choose rehabilitation of acid attack victims, a motto. So your narration has truly sensitized all the participants. Thanks, ma'am. Shrimati Preeti Bhardwaj Dalal, Vice Chairperson, State Commission for Women from State of Haryana, with a bold and a loud voice. Ma'am, you kept all your points very clear, and you not only gave strength to the listeners, but you also gave them complete guidelines. So, under your able flagship, we are hopeful that we will soon reach when this commission will be used for all the you can say activities to promote women welfare. So we look forward for all those good days to come under your flagship, ma'am. Uh, on behalf of DBRA NLU, I place on record vote of thanks for all the media persons who remained associated, and they always give wide coverage because they know that the themes chosen by the university, they are always very impactful and useful for the society. So we trust and convey our special thanks. Our IT cell team, entire team of the webinar, both teaching and non-teaching staff, and anyone whom I could not mention, stands with a great gratitude. I wish and pray from the forthcoming International Women's Day onwards, that is on 8th of March, we present our nation to the world as no violence nation. So that is what I wish and pray for all our countrymen, and thanks the galaxy of scientists, the grassroots workers. You are doing immense job, and to with the gratitude I say thank you all. Thanks for making this webinar a success. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Thank
addressing the
you
vote of
from my
thanks.
side also to each and everyone. Thank you for sparing valuable time.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you, Vinay. How are you doing? Best wishes for your future, ma'am. I'm really hopeful and a lot of good health, prosperity, and a wonderful future ahead, ma'am. And thank you, Amitji, for being such a
Thanks a
gentleman.
lot. Thank you so much.
Women's Day, women for coming from Haryana State Commission for Women under all the
Exactly.
pressure you have, performing really well and keep on working well. Thank you so much.
But before ending this session, as a convention we have to just go for national anthem. It will take a few minutes only. So I would like to request all the participants to just stand on their places. Thank you. IT will kindly play the national anthem, please.